him on the fly with super fast 5G and even turned his hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total wireless in your corner. For limited time, also supplies last valid. Device tax to be block requires port in and ready verification. Restrictions apply.
Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving you the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, we'll beat anybody's price. Other dealers, we beat them. Warehouse clubs, we beat them. Online sites, we beat them all every day. So remember, for the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Before you begin your road trip, ask yourself, do you really need 5 full suitcases? With the new 2026 Kia Sportage X-Force class-leading cargo space, you'll have room for what you need. Find out more at your local Kia dealer today. Keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires. Call 800-333-42 for details. Always drive safely and obey all traffic laws. Comparisons based on second row legroom and cargo space on several seats in the subcompact SUV class according to Kia segmentation as of June 2025.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WSAN, WSAN FM, WSAN FM HD1, New York.
Good evening at 11 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Quiet through the first 4. The Mets got something cooking here in the top of the 5th inning. They trail the Padres 1-0, but they have the bases loaded and nobody out. Jeremiah Estrada is now on after they finally chased Ryan Berger. Got just 2 hits, but they forced 4 walks. They struck out 4 times, 83 pitches. Into the Padres' pen is Francisco Lindor looking to cash in here with the bases juiced. Sean Manaea giving up a Jackson Merrill single. That was an RBI single in the first inning. He's given up the 1 run on 3 hits through the first 4. Couple of strikeouts. Padres in front of the Mets, 1-0, top 5, but Francisco Lindor at the plate, bases loaded, nobody out. Max Fried continues to be money for the Yankees. Struck out 9 over 6 2/3, up to finish off the race 7-5. Bombers race a 3-run deficit as Cody Bellinger had a big 3-run shot. Along with some small balls, the Yankees stole 4 bags.
There by bullpen, Wells, obviously JD. So when the matchups present themselves and when they're there, we got to be in a position to capitalize.
Now, Anthony Volpe swiped a bag, also went deep, knocked in a pair, offsetting 2 more errors at short. Couple that with the Blue Jays dropping both ends of a doubleheader to the Orioles. The Yankees are back to within 4 in the division. A little bit of an update. Francisco Lindor struck out, so bases loaded, 1 out. Starling Marte coming up. And the Giants with a scare. Malik Neighbors left with a shoulder injury, but it's said to be nothing serious. 89 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Connected with WSAN to talk about your favorite teams, the Fan, on the RCI Heart and TuneIn apps. It's AM to AM on WSAN.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yankees win. The Yankees win. But, man, it's never easy with these Yankees. And we're critical of them, and we're going to be critical of them tonight. I'm glad they evened up the series. Tampa's not a good team. Like, if they would have found a way to screw that one up, man. Dial 888-808-1019. I'm freshly back from the stadium. Shout out to you if I ran into you tonight or you said what's up. Hello. Told you I'd be down here. Told you I'd do this, man. I go to the stadium to root for the Yankees. I go to the stadium with Yankee logos on me to root for the home team. I don't boo my own team, but I understand some of you boo birds and why you boo, and I get it, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm done with that. Keith, we pay our hard-earned money. You pay your hard-earned money to go to the stadium, boo the team, run on the field, fight people, get drunk, do all this other stuff that you shouldn't do either. So whatever, it is what it is, y'all. You know, what I was saying last night, and I guess it caught as the Mets tie the game right there, Brett Beatty slides home. Got eyes on the Mets again, Mets ride along. But what I was saying last night on my show, I wasn't at the game last night. But I watched, and the Boo Birds were out, and I had been at the Philly series Friday and Sunday, and I could feel this negative energy. I could feel this want to boo the team, this frustration because they're not in first place, because the trade deadline's coming, and there's all this talk about selling and what the Yankees used to be and what they aren't anymore, and this Brian Cashman era with Aaron Boone, and now Judge is hurt, and now what are we doing with this guy, and are we going to go get this guy, and are we going to call Spencer Jones up? There's just a lot of agita. There's a lot of uneasiness, and I get it. You know what? You should be uncomfortable. We all should be uncomfortable right now because we're not where we're supposed to be. But you know what? This is life. Baseball imitates life. These are human beings playing the game. They're not robots. This is not AI. And we are not robots. We are all different. We're all going to react differently. Some of you have packed it up. You're ready for football. And we'll get to the football talk later. Training camp is off and running. And I know you guys want to talk about the Jets and the Giants, and we can do that. Some of you are diehard Yankee fans. Glass is always half full. Never say die. It's always our year. World Series is on the table till it's not. Some of you are so jaded, so beaten, so just down about the state of the franchise and the 16-year drought where you're just going through the motions like, whatever, man. I got to protect my own emotions. Can't let it get to me. And I understand all of that. I mean, depending on the way the game goes, that's how I am too. But I went to the game tonight with full intentions of being loud in there, picking up other fans in there. And I was loud enough. I wasn't that far back from the dugout. I know they could hear me. And the way that the game started, and this is the biggest talking point tonight, the way that the game started in that first inning, Anthony Volpe, come on down again, brother. I root for him. I defend him. But I root for the laundry, and I defend all of the Yankees for the most part, especially if they are homegrown, if they are, low cost, don't have huge contracts, if they're young and still developing. But like this has developed into a situation. It's past all of that. Starting the conversation with Anthony Volpe, the error he had in the beginning of the game that led to the Yankees starting off back-to-back games being down 2. When you need to split this series at the least, it can't happen. He's got to make that flip to Jazz to get that play at second base every single time. Every single time. Now, there was some good from Anthony Volpe. He drove in a run, drove in Dominguez. He gave us the insurance run, hit a home run. That's when I left the building. I said, yes, there's the insurance run I needed. He smacked that ball to deep center. Yes, it's there. Keep hitting homers. If you go look at his last 7 games and the homers he's hit, like that is there. But then I'm driving away and I'm listening to Mr. Dave Sims on the call. And we're just trying to get the last out. And I just got back here and I watched him double clutch and think about the throw and not make the throw. The Yankees have to step in here. The options are let Anthony Volpe continue to be in his head, to overthink, to struggle in front of all of us. That is a tough stage to just overcome this defensive slump on, because your own fans, we eat our own, are ready to boo. Early in that game where he caught that ball and then he dropped it to try to deke the runner, from where I was sitting in my section, we thought he dropped the ball. I stood up and I turned my back to the field. And my boy Matt tapped me like, yo, he was just trying to get. I'm like, oh, bro. We were so prepared for a mistake. We were expecting an error. Anthony Volpe now leads Major League Baseball with 15 errors. The Yankees have to step in here and do something. And it's not going to damage the kid. Now, we can run through the options. I just heard Susan talk about a little bit with E-Man, and I was talking in the stadium with other fans. Okay, Peraza is still on the team, who I think is soon to be a casualty. Yes, we're coming up on Wednesday tonight, and we will be a day away from the trade deadline, and I do expect more moves. We'll talk about some of the moves that happened in Major League Baseball and what the Yankees still need to do, waiting on pitching. Peraza is on the team. Somebody suggested, hey, Peraza's got to come in at the end of the game as a defensive replacement. No, absolutely not. No, you want to talk about, killing his confidence? Taking him out of the game to put Peraza in as a defensive replacement. No, that's not an option. But neither is sending him down to not be in the spotlight, not be on the main stage, not be in the show, because you do need his bat. You could argue those 2 runs that he drove in today, that was the difference in the game. You do need his bat. You do need that production, especially with Judge out. But the yips that he has right now, the Yankees have to step in and say, hey, you are a human being. You're not a robot. We can't just program you overnight and you come and just break out of it. We can see your pressing. We can see your mechanics are breaking down. Your fundamentals aren't there. You're overthinking it because you don't want to make a mistake. We are all human. We all need mental health days. We all need days off. We get pay time off. All of us. Nobody is above it. Aaron Judge isn't above it. Aaron Judge is the best player in the game. He gets a half day to DH and not have to play the field. They do scheduled rest for everybody. In that first game, or was it the second game of the Toronto series where Bellinger, who's looking like the MVP of the team right now, Bellinger wasn't in the game. We're like, what is going on? They play the splits, the analytics, they rest guys. Why is Anthony Volpe not a candidate for scheduled rest? 888-808-1019. Ahmed Rosario is on the team. So there is no putting in Peraza as a defensive replacement for the kid. That will completely crush his confidence. Wow, I can't even be on the field when we get the last out and shake hands. No. Andrew Velasquez, Squid Games. We're not about to play those Squid Games. No, he's not coming up and Volpe's not going down. But Ahmed Rosario exists on this team, whose natural position is a shortstop, who came up a shortstop, who last night I was showing you, he played with the Nationals at shortstop. He's played shortstop in the last few years. In the last 3 years that Volpe has been on the team, Ahmed Rosario has also played shortstop. Would it hurt them to put him there once a week, every other week, to give Volpe a mental day? It's so loud and clear that this young man is thinking about it. I'm watching the post game. I'm seeing he's got pimples on his face, and everybody gets pimples. We're all human, but they look like stress pimples. I've had stress pimples before. I know you've probably had them before. When you're not sleeping right, when you're thinking too much, you break out. I am begging the New York Yankees to not stay stuck on their ways. And he's an elite defensive shortstop. He's a hard worker. He's a good kid. He recovers fast. We need him. It is okay to say, Ahmed Rosario, you're starting today. Volpe, we love you. We are rooting for you, and the fans are rooting for you. When you drove in that run, it was loud. When you hit that home run, it was loud. We don't want to boo you. But it's not the standard. Leading the league in errors as the shortstop of the New York Yankees is unacceptable. It has to change. And I'm not putting this 24-year-old kid in a position to say, just figure it out. Just play through it. We've done that already. We're going into August. Am I tweaking? 888-808-1019. I had to get that out first because there's so much conversation around it. And yeah, if you guys want to go to the stadium, boo, go and boo. I don't do that. But like, I understand it. You're booing the organization. You're booing the amount of errors. You're booing out of frustration because it cost us. Early in that game, you killed the vibes in the place. Early in that game, we don't worry about the double play. Get the out at second, and what happens? Max Fried, on a day where we need Max Fried, he's starting off in the hole. He's starting there with almost 30 pitches thrown in the first inning. And the umpires are trash. That's standard. Umpires Warren Boone, umpire strikes on, and then, a big Boyle. This guy's got this 6'8" pitcher on the mound. When he finally starts to lose the zone, right? We get to him. Belly, I'm starting the MVP chants in there for Belly. Judge is out, MVP. How good is this guy? This guy's got to finish his career as a Yankee. Yes, that's a lot. I know that's a lot. I understand. He's going to opt out. But, like, what else do you want in a left-handed swing like that in Yankee Stadium? A guy that's a plus defender no matter where you put him. And his demeanor, he's just chilling. He's relaxed. None of this is too big for him. Pelotero, it's in his genes. Shout out to Clay. We end up getting that game back after, the 3 runs, giving up the 2 in the first, and then the homer, and then whatever. But I wasn't even mad at Max Fried because I'm like, they have cost Max Fried. There was a stat that popped up about Volpe costing Max Fried. and how many errors he's had. And it's like, that's tough to overcome. The guy already had to overcome the blister. Let's see, Yankee source, shout out to Yankee source, put out there. This is the 4th error Anthony Volpe has made with Max Fried pitching. His 8th high impact error of the year. Are the Yankees going to fix this, or are we going to be in a race for a wild card spot? Or if you're looking at the standings and noticing what's happening with the Toronto Blue Jays racing for first place and having costly errors because you want to stay stubborn and stuck on your own decisions that this is our shortstop. Like, oh, yo, we know he's the shortstop. We want him to be the shortstop of the future, but help him. Anyway, belly ties the game. It wakes the stadium up. Everybody's awake now. We're back in it. It's a fresh game. And like I said, Big Boyle is losing his command. Walks Wells. Tried to help him with Ben Rice. Ball was, ball 5. And then, Wells steals 3rd. That's another thing, too, the stolen bases. Put pressure on the defense. The Tampa Bay Rays aren't good. They make errors, too. They make costly mistakes as well. Run. Get on and run. Wells stole a base. Dominguez, Volpe. And you love to see it, little things like that in the game. Max Fried locked in. He threw his career high of pitches. Max Fried, the compete level, max compete level. I love that. Tell Boone, no, I want it. And I know it didn't work out, but I don't care. When we are struggling, don't fold. Do not just hand the ball over. That's what I've been asking for. Do not just scurry away. Oh, my job is done. Because as soon as they show the bullpen and Jonathan low expectations is warming up, I am nervous. Jonathan Loaizaga, Jonathan Hayajida, I am like, don't do this. Don't do this. It's fine. It worked out. Max Fried, max compete level, goes out there, strikes out 9, throws his career high of pitches. Okay, Taylor Walls gets him. So what? We had a little bit of a lead. All good. Loaizaga, a double play ball when you need it. Double play ball when you need it to get us out of there. The Yankees can turn double plays. They can field. They can get it done. And ultimately, when Volpe tacks on that insurance run, we needed it because they would get in some trouble late. And, I had to run out of there. But Devin Williams does what he has to do. And the Yankees win. They even up the series, 35,000 plus in attendance. And I don't expect them to win this series, but I do expect them to at least split. But both are on the table now. Win tomorrow with Will Warren. See what happens in the 4th game. Tampa's not good, bro. I was on last night, and I was talking about their 4th place team in our division. They're selling off. They sold their catcher in Yankee Stadium. They're doing business while they're here in the Bronx. This is not a good team. And this was a team win for the Yankees because they could have folded. They could have been, woe is me. There's a point, I tweeted it out. I said, down 3-0 without Aaron Judge and a team that only hits homers, it felt insurmountable. It felt like this is going to be another night of not getting runners on, but like things happen. Like Dominguez with like a teardrop double that hits the line. Volpe coming through. Paul Goldschmidt, oldie but goldie. Paul Goldschmidt, there was a lot of conversation about Paul Goldschmidt being in this game, Stanton not being in this game, where they back Paul Goldschmidt. And his 3rd at bat against the lefty, Jordan Montgomery's 3rd cousin removed, Mason Montgomery. I'm like, if he does not get a knock here off this lefty, then what are we doing? Paul Goldschmidt comes through. Ben Rice with a couple walks. Grisham with a walk. 2 Ks, but with a walk. Even Ryan McMahon. Mac, I saw you, bro. Warning track power. 2 strikeouts. I know you're going to strike out a lot, but keep going. Deepest part of the ballpark. He was almost there. Austin Wells working a walk, scoring 2 runs, and obviously catching for Max Fried. Max Fried had everything going. And then late in that game, he was just throwing the curveball, the cutter that he threw to Taylor Walls, whatever. The guy was gassed. It was hot as hell out there. But the Yankees win 7-5, and we're all right. We're 2nd place in the American League East. The Toronto Blue Jays are losing to the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles now have a 5-game win streak. Toronto has a 4-game losing streak. So, yeah, all that talk about Toronto, they can get up for the big, bad Yankees in their building. But when they go to Camden Yards, they can't play out there in Birdland, with Mr. Splash and all the other shenanigans they do and build a ballpark. Keith McPherson on the fan. We're going to talk Yankees to start. The Mets are on. It's top 6, 1-1. The Mets got to take this one to even up that series. We'll get to it. We'll also talk about Cam Scattaboo. I told y'all, once the pads come on, I told y'all that was a steal of the draft. I've been waiting to see this kid with the pads on. I think Giants fans are going to love this kid when he gets into MetLife. And the Jets, it is different. It is different under AG. It is different under Aaron Glenn. Football is coming. Football is approaching very soon. As we hit this trade deadline on Thursday, we also hit the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, the Lions and the Chargers. It's going to get fun. Let's lock in. Dial 888-808-1019. You got me till 2 a.m. KM to AM returns right after this.
WFAN covers every win, loss, and headline. The Yankees, Mets, Giants. 1019 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn. MGM is making your next golf tournament winner bets more exciting with Second Chance. Want Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second set. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age or older to wager. New Jersey and New York only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
And now, breaking news. You leaving me, your state-of-the-art 65-inch 4K smart television, for going out with friends and not staying in to watch TV. Sources confirm that is a terrible decision. Picture-in-picture mode. Do your friends have that? Can they simultaneously stream live sports and extreme baking shows? How about I make everything sepia? Whatever you want, I'll do it. Just don't put me on standby.
Don't listen to your TV. Head out with your friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy having your spot. Today at sand, salt water, and Trent. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Sky Risen. Risen isn't that risen. Prescription only.
Yeah.
Can you read this once an hour tonight?
Yeah, what is this?
It's for the We Can Survive Odyssey crap.
And many were even
Yeah, I've heard it.
100%
Thank you.
I'll just read it coming back here.
Yeah, so just and then once for 12 and 1.
Don't use it allergic.
Once for the 12 o'clock hour and once in the 1 o'clock hour. Got it.
When you're allergic to fight that may occur, before treatment to check for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms.
There's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the number one.
Chat, what up? Freshly back from the stadium, and yeah, I don't know, yo.
Tune into the BTN South Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on the Fan. Presented by the Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
I went to the game.
We all hear the radio ads about
Never have I ever had anyone say anything to me about what I wear in the studio. Once upon a time, you guys couldn't see me in here because I wasn't going live. So it's like nobody cares, bro. It's 11:30 at night. Like, trust me, they're not tripping off of what I'm wearing, bro. I can dress. I'm in good shape. I'm a former model. Like, if I wanted to come in here and be dappered down, I could. I'm coming from the stadium. You feel me? I feel like a lot of people in the recent weeks, especially in the summer, have been talking about what I'm wearing. Like, some of y'all gotta hop off that. You know, really gotta chill, bro. Like, yo, you and I on the same timing, bro. Like, what? Like, I don't even know how to go about. It's just like, it's not worth even, you know.
real solutions for real people.
Salicata here, and wow, we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro painters did on our house. So clean
Pat on the back. Yeah. It doesn't change anything. It's done. Bro, that's something I had a conversation with a couple people about. It's like the after the fact stuff, like once things are put on the radio live, it's not like we can come back and there doesn't even need to be commented on. It's supposed to be preemptive, like whatever. And whatnot and things going on in the football world. We'll get to that later. But right now, the focus is Volpe, Max Fried, Jason Dominguez, Paul Goldschmidt, Jonathan Loizaga, Devin Williams, the New York Yankees. 888-808-1019. Joey Clams in Brooklyn. You get to go first.
Hey, how you doing, my man?
Good.
We're talking about Anthony Volpe. He's wound up too tight.
He's tense. He's making things too complicated. You could see he's trying to do too much in one time.
Yeah.
He's got to do what Joe Torre said. Do all the little things and the big things that happen. He's throwing the ball into the ground. He's holding the ball too tight.
Yeah.
You know what? But you know what? Listen, Anthony, let's go, my man. You know what? You got to reset. Go back to the old days. Step and throw. And then, you know what? But I do like what he did on the offense and when he played today. That he's 24 years old, 25. He's young and athletic. Dominguez, he's young and athletic. So is the second baseman. This is how they got to play. Run.
Yeah.
You got speed. These kids what are you holding them back for? That's what we never do that.
They got to get on.
You got to let them play.
They got to get on. Thanks for the call, Joey. Yeah, I'll say this with Volpe. Don't they have like a mental health coach? Don't they have like therapists or psychology people? They do. I know they do. Like sports psychologists, maybe do that. But then also like he does the work. Everybody that talks about him doing the work. He shows up, he takes ground balls, he throws. But that is way different than when you get in the game. Before I was saying we're all human. We all overthink things. And then that creates a disconnect between your mind and your body in the moments that it can't happen. It needs to get back to being second nature. Like Joey Clams just said, get the ball, step, throw it. And just do it in a motion that you don't even kind of it shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult. We've seen him do it. You don't make it to where he's made it, not being able to do it. Some people want to talk about, oh, he doesn't have the arm strength. It's not about that. He has the arm strength to make these routine throws. He's thinking too much. And when you're thinking too much, you need to clear your head. And I don't know how the Yankees expect him to go to bed tonight, wake up the next morning and come back and clear his head. Yeah, he might not be on social media. I just heard Jack Curry talk about, he takes the slings and arrows. He can hear it in the stadium. And if he has a cell phone or comes in contact with any human beings, it is not a quiet thing. It has gotten loud. They need to step in. They need to step in and say, hey, man, I don't know when. I don't know. Even do it I don't even know. I think on the road would be better for him to play. Do it maybe the last game of this series. I think at home is when he needs the off day because it's harder in front of the Yankee Stadium crowd. You go to Marlins Park, there's 3,000 people there. That's different. Like he should be fine there. But I just think it's bigger than him. I think it's bigger than the All-Star break wasn't enough. Like he's leading the league in errors. This has to stop because it's going to cost us in a crucial moment. And none of us forget how that fifth inning played out in the World Series. I know a lot of you don't feel like this team can get back to the World Series this year, but it's still on the table. And even before that, whether it's the wild card round, whether it's the DS or the CS, we cannot have Anthony Volpe boot a routine ground ball or make a throw into the dirt, spike it with an easy out. And that's something that's going to live forever in the higher stakes moments. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get in front of it. They have to help him out. And then, yes, on the base paths, like I said, you got to get on. They didn't have base runners last night. But, yeah, you get on. These guys got to be going. Put pressure on the Tampa Bay Rays. Put pressure on their infielders. Put pressure on their catcher. Put pressure on their pitchers, their starting pitchers, guys coming out of the bullpen. Run. You have the athletes to do it. Run. And look at what the good fortune, they found today by putting pressure on the other team. The other team can make errors too. The other team can make mistakes and give you the game as well. Let's go to Dave in East Islip. What's up, David? You're on the Fan.
Hey, David. Heike, big fan of yours, man, and big fan of the Yanks.
Thank you.
Hindsight is 2020, but I think that Volpe is missing, the Riz a lot compared to last year. After, he eats up a couple in the gap or whatever, but now all is, when he throws it across the diamond, there's no pooper scooper on the other side. I feel like Ben Rice has got a big bat.
Paul Goldschmidt is I know Goldie is, a little bit older, but Paul Goldschmidt. If we're talking about missing Rizzo at first base, Paul Goldschmidt is just as good was just as good as Rizzo. Rizzo's another guy that aged out. He's not even in the league this year. But I hear you. Paul Goldschmidt's got to be better, and Ben Rice does not have enough experience to clean everything up there. Goldschmidt's got to be better. Goldschmidt's got to help him. But Volpe's got to hit him in the chest, man. Stop making it so hard. I
agree. I agree with that.
I
also think though, if Volpe were to not hit him in the chest, Rizzo's gonna, give him the pat on the butt or something afterwards. I don't know how much Goldie's a locker room guy.
Goldie is just a straight face, old school guy. It's his first year here in the Bronx, and he's struggling a little bit himself. I don't know how much he's going to talk to Volpe about that. I know Rizzo was the guy who literally came out and said, "Just throw it anywhere, I'll get it." He told that to Ruben Odor, who they played out of position at third base. Thanks for the call, David. That's another part of it too. Now you have to play Paul Goldschmidt. See how these mistakes get compounded and it makes the decisions even harder? You have to play Paul Goldschmidt because you're worried about your shortstop, who the ball came to him a lot today. He did make some plays, but early in the game it cost us, and late in the game it extended the game, and it can't happen. It's got to get cleaned up. And I don't expect him to just magically be perfect. I don't. Definitely not in front of the home crowd. Definitely not in that ballpark. Definitely not with all the pressure that's riding on this team now without Judge and the trade deadline coming up, and they got to climb back into first place. And are they going to be a wild card? It's a lot, man. It's a lot. And you know what? When I talk about him, Volpe, I can't imagine what it's like to be Anthony Volpe, to grow up in the ballpark, both ballparks, the old ballpark, the new ballpark. I can't imagine what it's like to be a Yankee fan, to know what it's like to sit in those seats, to love the Yankees. Your whole family loved the Yankees. and you to be looked at as the whipping boy, the worst player on the team right now. You being the one that's drawing the ire of the fan base. In the post game, he says, I know what I'm capable of. And he does. We know what you're capable of too. And that's what we expect out of you. But at the same time, he is so much in his head, the routine. Like I said, when he dropped that ball and he was trying to deke the runner, the reaction in the crowd was like we were expecting an error. I'm like, bro, you are not clean enough with the glove right now to be playing those games. Just do the basics. Do the basics. But I think it's now we're going into August. What do the Yankees want him to have 20, 25 errors on the year? Step in. I just think having a Med Rosario on this team who costs you nothing for what you're paying him in salary and what you gave up to get him, a guy that's a veteran that came up as a shortstop. I was reading from an article last week about Francisco Lindor talking about how hard it must be for Volpe as a young guy to have to come up in the Yankee spotlight, to have to go through this on this stage in New York with these fans and how critical the media and all of the fans are and how loud we are. Like, he doesn't envy his position, but Lindor plays his position and knows how tough it is. Lindor makes errors. Everybody makes errors and mistakes. They're not robots, but the Yankees can't keep going on with like, oh, he's just going to figure it out. It's good. He puts the work in. Don't worry about it. I have to worry about it. We need these outs. There's no room for error at this point. You have to win games, especially against a team like Tampa. That's a fourth place team. It's gotta change. Peter's in New Hyde Park on the Fan. What's up, Peter?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good. So you said it before. He grew up a Yankee fan, right? And I believe my opinion is he's hearing footsteps of George Lombard Jr. in the minors. That kid's only 19 years old, but that kid's tearing it up down in the minors. And look, I think if you listen to Volpe, they asked him a question the other day. He waited like 10 seconds and he said, "Can you repeat that?" I mean, he's so timid when he talks. Again, I don't know, it's just the way he is. But
he's in like the twilight zone. He's in a haze. He's in a fog. Yeah. He's in a place of like, I can't believe how hard it's become for me to field my position and throw the ball. I want a Gold Glove. I was always like, I was a plus defender. I was an elite defender. It's crazy right now. Thanks for the call, Peter. I disagree about George Lombard Jr. George Lombard Jr. is a ways away, and I don't think Volpe is hearing his footsteps. The Yankees won't call up Spencer Jones right now. They're flirting with Giancarlo Stanton playing right field before calling up Spencer Jones, who's 24 and tearing it up. I don't think Volpe's worried about George Lombard at all. Not this year, not next year, not the year after. Because George Lombard, he's still got to develop. And the Yankees aren't going to rush him. I don't think it's a footsteps thing. I think it's just being in a fog and being stressed out. And there's a ton of pressure, man. There's a ton on this kid. It weighs a ton. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then your boss is telling you got it. No, I don't have it. But this is the Yankees, and you got to go out there and play every day. And I know I got to figure it out. But like, I don't know. It's too much.
Right. I don't know if it's pressure. He looks petrified right now. And it's crazy to see. He legitimately, when he's in the field, he looks petrified to throw the ball. He looks so uncomfortable trying to field the ball. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if it's. I think
it is pressure because he's scared to make a mistake because there's added pressure with fans booing him, with the spotlight on him, with him leading the league in errors, and the team not being in first place, and Aaron Judge being. It's compounded. There's a lot of layers to this.
Then if he's going to get that much affected by fans booing him, that's a larger issue for me. Just got to tune that stuff out to the best of your ability.
Not everybody can.
Oh, that's fair.
It's the Bronx here.
Then maybe he doesn't have it to play in New York City. Then in a big media market. Because if he's going to let the people,
we're trying to figure that out right now. I think he has it and he's going to work through it. But I don't think he should be on an island by himself saying, "You got it, man." He's 24 years old. This is his third year in the league.
Yeah, I don't know how they fix it. I was talking to Emmanuel earlier about it, and it's like,
let him work with Ahmed Rosario. Why can't he take ground balls with Ahmed Rosario? I was saying this before I knew Ahmed Rosario would be on this team. Iron sharpens iron. He won the job in a competition with IKF, and I just feel like when you play sports, you need to do this. You need to take reps with other guys. There needs to be when it isn't for a game. Right? When it isn't, keeping score against another team, but it's just keeping score with, through practice, it helps, man.
That gets very delicate if you're going to have another guy come and show you the rope
But
stuff.
he knows Ahmed Rosario has no actual future to be the Yankee shortstop, and he does.
But if he's already that mentally weak that he's allowing booing to get to him, if you get Ahmed Rosario kind of showing him the ropes of how to play a better shortstop, that might fry him even more.
I don't think
Crazy
so.
that we're having this conversation.
But Ahmed Rosario's on the team and came up as a shortstop. That was his natural position.
Absolutely.
So why can't he help Volpe? People are calling for Willie Randolph to help Volpe. People called me and said Derek Jeter needs to come up and help Volpe. Leave Jeter alone. Let Jeter enjoy his post-Yankees life as a dad and be with his family. Let's go to Ryan down in Ocean Township. What's up, Ryan? You're on the Fan.
Hey, how you doing, Keith? Big fan.
I'm good, man. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I know the Yankees are going through their struggles right now. I want to be a little bit of an optimist. I'm going to say that, first off, I think they're going to get in the playoffs, whether it's a wild card spot or whatever it is.
So do I.
Once they get in, throw the regular season out the window. You got a veteran presence on this team. You got guys like Goldschmidt, Bellinger, obviously Judge and Stanton, Fried and Rodon pitching big games. I'm not freaking out about the Yankees right now. I know they're going through their problems, but I think once you get to that spot, anything can happen in this playoffs. And I think Evan says a lot about the playoffs. The way it's set up, anyone can win it. The way the Yankees are set up, I think they're designed to be a playoff team, and that sometimes causes their problems in the regular season.
I think they still need a little bit more, Ryan. They definitely need some help in the bullpen. They need some guys to come out as bullpen. Today, a video surfaced of Yohan Duran from the Minnesota Twins hugging his teammates, and people all looked around and definitely on Twitter, and people were talking in the stadium, hey, is this guy traded? And Jeff Passan comes out. Like, that's a guy they should go get. We've been talking about the David Bednars, the Ryan Hill. Like, they should get some bullpen help today, tomorrow, the next day. And, I already talked about the range of fans' emotions. You're not freaking out. And you shouldn't freak out necessarily on July 29th when they're 4 games out of first place and they're the number one, wild card. But, there needs to be more of a sense of urgency as far as what we're doing on a daily basis, not going through the motions, not just saying this is fine, this will work, we'll get out of it, because it's about to be August. Here come the dog days, and nothing is guaranteed. Thanks for the call, Ryan. I look at it like this. You don't have to be freaking out, or you could be freaking out. It is not just this year either. There are a lot of Yankee fans that are looking at, like I said in my open, Brian Cashman hiring Aaron Boone and what the Yankees have been in this 8 years of Aaron Boone. They're calling it like it is. These Yankees decided that Anthony Volpe would win the shortstop job based off of spring training, a month of spring training, a month and a half of spring training competition, and they said, we're not sending you down. Volpe didn't yell for that. Volpe didn't say, hey, once I win this job, that's it, guys. Volpe didn't say, I'm the next Derek Jeter, that's it, guys. Volpe didn't say anything about, hey, if I'm making errors and leading the league in errors, you can't sit me for a game. Volpe didn't say any of that. They made these decisions, and that's why I put it on the Yankees as well to correct it. 888-808-1019. And I don't think it's going to, I don't think he's mentally weak where the boos are, like he can't overcome it. But I do think that, he's hearing the crowd. Because we're all hearing it. Michael Kay was on the broadcast last night. Oh, it was loud boos. Yeah, for a play that, yes, he should have been able to glove it. But I think majority of the shortstops in Major League Baseball are not getting Jose Caballero on that play. I talked about it last night. But the Boo Birds are out and they're so ready to pounce because he had a couple strikeouts, whatever. At least today he put bat to ball. Let's hope, the offense coming alive transfers over to defense. But, it's hard. You guys ever play baseball? That ball's coming at you fast. It's hard to field that ball. But he has the skill set. He says he knows what he's capable of. It's mental. It's between the ears. They need to just give him a break. Watch somebody else make the plays. And not with the fear of I'm going to lose my job, because he's not going to lose his job. It's simple. Lou is in Astoria on the Fan. What's up, Lou?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Rolling along here.
Listen, I'm going to talk about the right now Yankees, our Yankees. And I don't want you to get upset and hang up on me. I want to also get into the Hall of Fame, if you don't mind.
Me?
No, I know. But, I might get you angry. That's the only time that you do that. But I just want to say something, okay? The shortstop, okay? Your producer said he's got to figure it out. We can't be saying that forever, okay? We can't just think that he's going to figure it out or give him. That's not going to help us win, okay? Right now, a decision has to be made. You got a second baseman that his skills are still in base. He hasn't stolen a base in 30 games, okay? Then the owner, the GM had the nerve to get a guy at third base that lead the league in strikeouts was something that we do most of the time, batting 215.
Yeah, but he plays the hell out of that hot corner, though.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop, guys. What does it take? You think we're going to go all the way with this kind of team? Honestly,
no. But as soon as Garrett Cole went down, I started thinking they weren't going to win. And I've said multiple times, I don't think the Yankees or the Mets are winning the World Series this year. But what do I know? Crazier things have happened.
Forget about Cole. I'm talking about the entire team right now besides Bellinger, okay? Which, if you remember, when he won the MVP a long time ago, he went to the play when he did that. What Judge did a long time ago, he hit a 146. So, but I tell you what, he's outstanding right now. We're going to give this guy 5 years, and it's going to be another DJ LeMahieu. But anyway.
No, he's not. But listen, I know that these guys can slump in October. That's why the defense being cleaned up is even more important. You got to be able to get these outs. You got to be able to pitch. You got to be able to defend. That was supposed to be a priority of this 2025 New York Yankees team.
Keith, we score a lot of runs, okay, when the pitching is not that good. If the opposing team has a good starter, we get 1 or 2 hits into the 6th inning, and then we run into a relievers that are garbage, and then we start hitting home runs. And then, oh my God, we lead the league in home runs, run score. That's not going to work in the playoff, big guy. But can I talk about the Hall of Fame now?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to make the guys this afternoon were talking about, Padres should go into the Hall of Fame because of what he did in the playoff. Baseball is about regular season. It's not about the playoff. Only football applies that, okay? And Ichiro Suzuki, okay? I am in shock that the man was not unanimous, okay? And sooner or later, they're going to have to change the situation, the panel, all these writers, they got to go. It's got to be former Hall of Fame players that it's going to have the committee, be in the committee and have a panel, and they do the selection because these writers, they clueless. You know what?
Thanks for the call, Lou. Yeah, Ken Griffey wasn't unanimous. Derek Jeter wasn't unanimous. Ichiro wasn't unanimous. Mariano Rivera was, but those guys are protected by anonymity, and they're also cowards, and they're pen pusher nerds. So I don't care really, but I don't care about that. We know what we saw. We know who was legit. I just talked about, you guys ever play baseball? It's hard to do. But it's not hard to go to school, get a journalism degree, and write articles, and then say, I'm going to be the one guy to not vote for this guy. Good for those guys. Hopefully they sleep better at night feeling like they did something. Whatever. Pettit, I don't think that's going to happen. I forget where he was in the voting or whatever, but obviously that's another thing, right? Steroids. There's a league of shadows, and I don't even care about the Hall of Fame, bro. The Hall of Fame to me was bogus when they put in Big Sloppy Ortiz as first ballot Hall of Fame. So whatever. But congrats to CT and congrats to Ichiro, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think the younger generation's going to care. I don't think the younger generation is going to care about the Hall of Fame and going up there. It's not going to be a thing that they're just going to be like, okay, so what? And yeah, sure, the Hall of Fame is about your career stats, cumulative numbers, and not just what you did in a postseason. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about the Yankees hitting home runs can win you games in the postseason. That's what happened, right? That's how we got to the World Series. Juan Soto hit a home run that sent us to the World Series. Who won the ALCS MVP? Giancarlo Stanton. Not because he was hitting hustle singles, infield singles, hustle doubles. He was hitting the ball out of the ballpark. It can win you games. It's a good thing that the Yankees have that. They have to add relief pitching. They have to add another starter potentially, and they have to clean up the defense, and they can't just say, Volpe's elite. He puts in the work. He can do it. It hasn't worked yet. He had 2 errors today. Try something else, and you literally created the option. I do not understand you getting a Med Rosario and saying, yeah, he's going to, platoon with Ryan McMahon and play some outfield. You have the option right there. And I think Volpe, being a baseball fan, having respect for, the veterans in the clubhouse, I don't think he would trip off of Ahmed Rosario getting a day. I think Volpe has had 3 days off. I think the last one was that Sunday in the Orioles series where they played at 11:35 because the game was on Roku. He's not above rest. He's a human being. We all have rest. We all have mental health breaks. We all have PTO. We all have days off. It doesn't make you any less of a man or a player or whatever to sit down for a day. It doesn't mean you're being disciplined or punished. It's a reset, man. It's a reset. If anybody on the team looks like they need a reset, it's him. Emily is on Long Beach or in Long Beach on the Fan. What's up, Emily?
Hey, I was at the game tonight and all this talk about Volpe, I was sitting next to people, they're booing him. He's just a kid. He's 24. He's a year younger than me. I mean, I hope this kid's in therapy,
That's what I said too. I hope the Yankees have some type of psychology person, mental health coach. He's got a lot more baseball ahead of him. I hate that we eat our own, but I understand it. I had a video go out where I was saying, like, I don't understand fans doing that. How do you show up and root against the team? And people are, we pay our hard-earned money, Keith. You don't get it. It's more than just Volpe. We're booing the organization and their decisions. And yeah, whatever, yo. I'm trying to win. I'm going there to help.
I mean, I'm still going to a game. I'm having a good time. I'm rooting for Volpe. I'm hoping that he can overcome this slump. And he hits a home run. He steals a base.
Yeah.
He's playing okay baseball when he needs to. And you know what? I'll forgive a few mistakes. It's right after the All-Star break. It's like the Yankees do this every year. It's nothing I'm not used to. Judge is hurt. We got to get through this time. I mean, as a diehard fan since I was a kid, this happens every year. I'm hoping that Toronto is going to fall apart like they do. The Yankees are going to slide into the playoffs, and we'll see what happens when we get there.
That's a good way to be, Emily. Thanks for that call. And you know what? The fans do want to root for him. I had a couple videos, and I'm like, it got loud when he drove in Dominguez. It got loud when he hit that home run. Majority of the people there do want to cheer. There's just some frustrated fans in between that just, I don't know, they're also there to boo because they think they're gonna I don't know. They think they're gonna this will teach them. This will make the organization fix this. And even on Twitter and internet is fake life. It's not real because there's a lot of you on Twitter that don't ever be in the ballpark. There's a lot of you on Twitter that say things that you wouldn't actually, say in the ballpark or do at the game. But, people, what now, Keith? Is it the fans' fault that he made the error? No. And that's the first thing I said. He started off the game on some BS. Have at it. I'm around people that are like, again, come on. I'm like, yeah, well, it's what's going to happen. But I'm looking at the Yankees now saying, hey, you step in. I think Ahmed Rosario is the best option to spell him for a game. Not Peraza. Peraza's a negative, an automatic out. If you're going to take his bat out of the lineup, and how come that too now? Now that you have another option and you've had other options, everybody else has to sit depending on matchups and splits. Even the great Cody Bellinger, obviously Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt, Stanton. Volpe's the only one. He's the worst hitter on the team, right? How come he's the only one that doesn't have to have a rest day depending on the matchup? Make it make sense. Phil is in Manhattan. Before we get to the break, Phil, you're on.
Oh, hey, thank you. I'm not really all that concerned about Anthony Volpe's fielding, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I know that Derek Jeter made 254 errors in his career, and I don't recall myself ever being concerned about that. And, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, they made errors too. Everybody makes errors. What I recall about tonight's game, and I was at the game tonight, was Anthony Volpe hitting that tremendous home run, and everybody going wild, cheering for Anthony Volpe, cheering for him, cheering because he came through. That's what I recall, and that's what I like about Anthony Volpe. He's a tremendous player. He has grit. He wants to play. He shows up, and he already has around 61 RBIs. And I think I'm very satisfied with him at shortstop.
Well, that's good, Phil. I'm glad you feel that way, but most people would disagree with you. You can't sugarcoat it like that. But that's a great way of glass half full. Like I said, there's a range of Yankee fans. There are a bunch of Yankee fans that are probably listening right now like, tremendous player. What are you talking about? Oh, Derek Jeter made errors. Yeah, I said we all make errors. We're human beings. We're not robots. But what I'm saying is the Yankees need to, and when we, after we come back from here, like I'm going to move on to some other things. But I just think that tonight is another night where it's like, come on, he had 2 errors in this game, cost us in the beginning of the game, could have cost us at the end of the game. It's so clear that he's thinking. You can make a low light reel of how many routine ground balls he's either botched, how many throws he hasn't made, and it's clear that it's in the kid's head. So step in, get ahead of it. Instead of saying, like, you're not even ahead of it, you're behind it. Step in now and let Ahmed Rosario spell him for a game. And what's the worst that could happen? Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'll say good morning on the other side. We'll do the big shot of the night as well. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
Fuckers. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car.
Got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. You want to see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more. I'm just a COVID test. Prescription medications for COVID exist. Test positive this summer. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer. DQ presents how to make the Blizzard treat even sweeter.
Just get a Blizzard treat on Miracle Treat Day, July 31st. Get some support kids like me. Alright, on Miracle Treat Day, $1 or more of each Blizzard treat sold at participating locations benefits your local children's hospital. So treat yourself in the most meaningful way and support local kids like me on Miracle Treat Day at DQ, Thursday, July 31st. DQ, happy tastes good. Thank you for making Total Wine and More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine, better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, be 21.
Uh-oh, Brad's bud. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the flu. The good thing is, he knows when he's buzz.
Know your buzz warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A method from NHTSA and the Ad Council. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies...
Appreciate it, bro. Glad to be here for you. Glad you found a way. Yeah, I don't care to hear about the Yankees of yesteryear anymore. Enough. They're not going to send him down, but why can't Rosario play there for a game? It's beyond me to think that, like, you have him as a resource on the team and you don't use him in that capacity.
This deal has you covered. A smooth, bold, Dunkin' coffee paired with 2 more tasty wake-up rocks? Now that's what we call a big deal. Exclusive espresso and cold brew beverages. Modifications may be an additional charge. Participation may vary. Limited time offer cannot be complied with all. Exclusion and terms apply. Hey, Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Thursday, August 21st. And the Yankees host the Boston Red Sox for a very special Yankee Stadium giveaway. It's $9 night. And the first 18,000 guests receive a special George Costanza sleeping under his desk bobblehead, courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Yeah, don't miss out on signs all night and the George Costanza sleeping under his desk bobblehead in the Yankees and Red Sox battle on Thursday, September 21st. Visit Yankees.com/tickets. The Jeep brand has always stood for American freedom, and now we're standing with you with Employee Pricing Plus.
Now I did just see some Luis Robert stuff. We'll talk about it. I don't understand Luis Robert Vientos trade. Let's see. Is this a front runner for Robert plus the market's most highly coveted reliever? The Mets have been one of the more aggressive teams in pursuit of Luis Robert.
Discover the best mofongo. Post that perfect sunset on la isla and save day with Verizon while you do it. Switch and get 4 lines for just $30 per line.
And if it's Mark Vientos, there's a bunch of reasons why. Holy shit. It was just 1-1, and then it was 2-1, then it was like 4-1. What do you just hit a 3-run bomb? The Mets don't play them well, and they definitely don't play them well out in Chris Davinsky on the mound. Cooked. They don't play them well out in Petco Park for some reason. Oh, another? No, that's going to stay in.
Call 1-877-CARS for kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation super easy.
Yeah, like, I don't want to hear about Derek Jeter. Like, people trip me out with, oh, Derek Jeter made errors. The kid has 15 errors on the season. I think it was, didn't Gleyber Torres 2024 errors? One of these AI chat GPT, some shit should know. He had 18 errors in the regular season last year. They allow this. I'm good on it, bro, because it is the most frustrating. I'll talk about it when we come back, and then I'll move on from it because, like, I don't think y'all hearing me. I know some of y'all in the chat are hearing me, but like Phil in Manhattan, he's a tremendous ball player. What I'll remember from the game is the home run. Yeah, Phil. I just looked at the back page of the post, and it says yip hooray. Yeah, they note the 452-foot bomb, but they also note that, like, he had a costly error that put us down 2, and then if who knows how that end of the game would have gone. It should have been game over. He can't make the routine, bro. With the game on the line, they gotta get him out of it, and it isn't just letting him go through this shit on his own. Like, it's enough already. I just think if you have a Med Rosario on the team, he's a resource. He's a resource for the kid to give him a rest and also to feel ground balls with him and talk to him, and like a veteran in the clubhouse that played the position. Jazz played the position, but he's got to play second next to him.
Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti, and this report is brought to you by Town Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Padres starting to pull away from the Mets. Manny Machado with a big 3-run shot in the 7th inning as the Padres now open up a 7-1 advantage in the top of the 8th. Sean Manaea went the first 5, gave up just 1 run, 86 pitches, struck out 4. The Met bullpen has faltered. Jose Butto gave up 5 runs. Chris Davinsky giving up a home run to Machado that put things seemingly out of reach. The Mets are down by 6. Also, Juan Soto left this one. He fouled the ball off his foot in the 4th inning. Foot contusion came out in the next inning after that. Mets lone run, that came, if I can get the computer to work, that came back in the 5th inning. That was a Starling Marte sac fly when he came on for the injured Soto. But for the Yankees, Cody Bellinger flipped the game with 1 swing.
Swing on track, deep to right. Hit hard, traveling out of here. 3-run homer, Cody Bellinger, 2-ball game at 3-3. Cody, home run number 20. Takes his RBI total to 61. How great is
And erased the 3-0 deficit as the Yankees took out the Rays 7-5. Dave Sims, the call right here on the Fan. 2 more errors for Anthony Volpe, but he also homered and drove in a pair. Max Fried struck out 9 over 6 2/3 innings, a 4-run ball, his 12th win. Couple that with the Blue Jays losing 2 to the Orioles. Bombers back within 4. And Malik Neighbors left Giants practice, shoulder injury, said to be nothing serious though. 86 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims, the home of radio. On the Odyssey iHeart TV.
Big Shot of the Night is brought to you by WFAN and me, Keith McPherson. Bright lights in the big city up in the Bronx. We got a couple big shots. Let's pour up the double shot. One for Cody Bellinger, the other for Max Fried. Cody Bellinger stepping up, right? As I talk about the Bronx Bombers only scoring when they hit home runs. Cody Bellinger with the 3-run bomb to tie that game, to wake that place up. Clutch. Obviously, his defense we know about, but, Belly's got to produce right now with Judge down. And he has. He's had hit streaks. He's had, great moments. He's had a 3-homer game, should have been a 4-homer game. First shot of the night, we're pouring up for Cody Bellinger. And the second one, Max Fried. Max level compete. And, you can rely on the guy. I know his last few outings, they've been shaky and they haven't been as solid as his, start to the season. But, man, after the defense let him down, he really locked in. I forget how many he retired in a row, but he just, kind of worked back after having 26 pitches thrown in the first inning. He just was efficient, 1, 2, 3 innings. And what I loved was at the end of that game, him saying, no, I got one more in me. And I don't care that it didn't go his way. Just the fact that he stood his ground with Aaron Boone and said, bro, Loizaga, let me try. Let me try to get one more. I know, I appreciate the compete level. He threw his career high pitches tonight with 111. He goes 6 2/3. Obviously, this bullpen needed that. He only gives up 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned runs. And like I said, that first inning, you guys obviously know how that all happened. He strikes out 9. Max Fried and Cody Bellinger, your big shots of the night. Good morning. Good morning. We're in there. The Padres are dominating the Mets. The Mets just don't play well against the Padres. Definitely not in Petco Park. That one just got out of hand quickly with a 5 spot in the 7th. Didn't they put up a 5 spot in the 4th last night? Yeah. Chris Davinsky. The Mets need bullpen repair for sure. But yeah, back to the Yankee calls. We will get into some of the rumors, some of the trade deadline stuff in the chat. They're talking about Luis Robert. Mark Feinsand just put out an article about Luis Robert and the Mets being interested in his services. There's a couple other more, there's a couple other, other names like Ryan Helsley and more on these other guys, trade rumors as we're getting closer here. Hello, it is Wednesday, July 30th. Tomorrow is the MLB trade deadline. We are getting there. Other things out of Major League Baseball, I saw Ronald Acuna Jr. Left the game in a walking boot. It said Ronald Acuna Jr. was in a walking boot and held back tears when talking after tonight's game in Kansas City. He said it would be further evaluated, MRI tomorrow. He felt discomfort when he scored from first on Monday. He lobbied to play today because in his mind he had missed too much time. Or this is a guy that is one of the greats in our sport, but has had terrible luck staying healthy. Other than that, what else did I see out there that I wanted to bring to the forefront here? Oh, the New York Post. As you know, I think it was Phil in Manhattan talking, Volpe's a tremendous player. And what I'll remember is the home run. Yeah, I'll remember it too. I posted on my Twitter. I was in there. I saw it live. That's great. A 450-foot homer. But the New York Post, the back page of the New York Post says, yip, yip, hooray. Volpe fires 2 more bad throws, but blasts 452-foot bomb late in Yankees needed win over Rays. That is the talking point. That is where we are now. Even though you get the good, he drives in a couple runs. He has a couple hits. That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what we're looking for. Raise that average, that OPS, and continue. But we gotta get the errors out, the throwing errors, the simple things like flipping the ball to Jazz at second base, throwing the ball to first base and hitting the first baseman in the chest to end the game. We know he can do it, but he has to do it. And the Yankees have to figure out how to, get him out of his head so that he's not thinking about doing these things in their second nature. I don't know. Back to the phones we go. John in Huntington's on the fan next. What's up, John?
Yeah, what's up, Keith? What do you think if Judge is down for the year? Which direction the Yankees want to go then?
Oh, well, Judge is not going to be down for the year. So I don't think
it's not going to be that Tommy John thing or anything like that.
No, there was a report today. Greg Joyce wrote that Aaron Judge did some toss and tee work in the cage today. He'll likely continue with that through the week before potentially facing velocity this weekend. The Yankees hope continues to be that Judge will only miss the 10-day minimum. He'll return on the road sometime. He'll be back.
Okay, all right. So this is why I shouldn't listen to. This is why I shouldn't listen to neurotic Yankee fans. All right, because I was thinking like we should have done like we would have done like a Chapman with Bellinger if that was the case.
I heard some stuff like that floated, but I don't think we need to do that.
All right, as long as
we need Cody Bellinger. I don't think we need.
I know. I don't want to see him play anywhere else the rest of his days. I just think he's like a real ball player. That is a baseball player.
Yeah.
And I love his grit. I love his grind. I love everything he does. I think he's a stud. And Volpe, it's listen, I'm not a major league ball player, but I played a lot of shortstop in my life, up until, till I was about 19 or 20. And those throws could get in your head, especially the ones that you have time with. Especially the ones you have time with.
You feel the ball and you're thinking about it. You're double clutching. You're hopping towards the bag, and the last thing you want to do is make a bad throw, and that's what you do.
Yep. I said the worst thing that could have happened was he had time. You don't even want to give him time to think there. You just want
to react.
Yeah. And it's and I'm glad at least he's doing something with the bat a couple of games now in a row, because like we do, we eat our own. It's like, if you listen to 95% of the Yankee fans, he should be in the minors or traded by now.
Yeah,
And it's I don't think that's what you do with somebody like that. I think that there's still something to be worked with. I think there's a lot to be worked with. He's cheap. He's not, what's the alternative? Outside a $300 million shortstop next season?
They passed on that. And if they would have done that, then you wouldn't have a Max Fried here. You wouldn't probably have a Cody Bellinger here either.
Exactly. That's the one. That was my point. Exactly. And I'm like, these Yankee fans just drive me nuts. Like, the second a guy can't, is like he's not doing what, all-stars do. They get rid of him. I want, whoever the best shortstop in baseball is to replace him. It just doesn't work like that.
Thanks for the call, John. Yeah, I know. Us Yankee fans are crazy. And the best rivalry in baseball is Yankee fans versus other Yankee fans. We're just never going to agree. We're going to go back and forth on things. Half the fan base wants him DFA'd or traded. And let's walk through those things. And I said I'm going to move on, and I am. But, what are you trading Anthony Volpe for? He leads the league in errors. And even, during the break, I looked up. I'm like, Gleyber Torres last year led the league in errors at his position. 18. Volpe's probably going to hit 18. But the Yankees, I don't want to say they allow it. I don't know how to phrase it. But it becomes part of their culture, and I don't know how it changes. They got to tighten this up, man. It's got to get cleaned up. It is so frustrating. These pitchers do the job. Max Fried is inducing ground balls. And that first one I got by Jazz, I think was just a shift. But man, that ball goes to Volpe, and Volpe tosses it to Jazz and pulls him off the bag. It's unacceptable. And that affects these pitchers because they do their job and they induce an out, and it's not an out. And it's like, you got to have it. That's how the elite teams win. There's a stat out there, and you don't even need the stats. I don't go on Baseball Savant. I'm not on Fangraphs. All you got to do is watch the game. The team that plays a cleaner game, that commits less errors, is more likely to win. So they're not trading Anthony Volpe because what are you getting for him? Nothing. They're not sending him down because if they wanted to send him down, they had plenty of opportunity to do that in the last 3 years. That's not on the table. But they could sit him down for a game, and it's not a benching, it's a rest day, as multiple guys get rest days, and now you have Ahmed Rosario on the team. The end. That's my take on it. I think you guys got that right. I said it a bunch. Ahmed Rosario exists on this team now. Unless Volpe somehow rips off, and that's another thing. He's not going to be perfect. He's going to make mistakes because they all commit errors. But he's got such a high number now, the number just gets higher and higher, and it's just something for people to point out, hey, he's the worst shortstop in the league. He's not. But, you have Ahmed Rosario to spell him, to give him a break. And sometimes you need a break. The All-Star break wasn't enough. Let Ahmed Rosario get a game every week, every other week. What's the worst that can happen? Robbie's in Lenox on the Fan next. What's up, man?
Hey, Keith. Thanks for always taking my call.
First of all, I just wanted to say, before I talk about, Volpe and so forth, I'm looking over trade deadline information today and all kinds of rumors. One of the guys I talked to the other night about with McMonagle is Stephen Kwan. There's a guy I'd love to try to acquire. It's obvious to me that the Yankees need guys to put the ball in play because I'm so tired of watching guys strike out. Like tonight, Jazz just gives you nothing, okay? And the thing that bothers me about this team is a constant non-contact. To me, if you traded a couple of guys away that were DH type of hitters, like we talked about Grisham and those type of hitters, power type hitters, for a couple of guys that would just put the ball in play, this team would be so much better. But I got a question for you, okay? Would you trade Devin Williams? Because to me, right now, when you look at relief pitchers, they're not a dime a dozen at this point. There's a lot of guys that are hurt, guys that are, obviously the Class A situation and so forth. Do you trade a Devin Williams and say, okay, Weaves, you're going to be our closer again like you were last year, and you go out and maybe get some bullpen up. You get a Bednar from Pittsburgh. There was rumors also, Keith, that they're talking about, O'Neal Cruz maybe coming to the Yankees. I don't know. I mean, what do you do? If you're a GM right now, I want you to play Brian Cashman for a second, okay? And you know what you need, right? So who's out there that you want, that you can give up for? They're not going to bring up Spencer Jones, obviously. We know that because if he was going to be brought, they would have brought him up already. I want to see him, but what is he worth if he comes up and he hits 50 and all of a sudden the rest of the teams are going, well, now we don't want him because we obviously know what he looks like now at the major league level. So with that being in mind, I mean, I'll get your thoughts on that. But to me, I would trade Devin Williams because the Yankees are not going to re-sign him. He's going to want $18, $19 million next year to be a closer. And he's not, and he's good, but he's not that good. I mean, he looks like John Wetland every time he comes in. Triple, a wall. Really?
Thanks for the call, Robbie. Listen, I'll try to work backwards. I don't know. There's a lot there. I'm not trading Devin Williams. He's your closer. You gave up Caleb Durbin and Nestor Cortez to get him and make him your closer. You changed the beard policy because when people saw him without a beard, they said, oh, why'd they do that to him? You moved Luke Weaver from the closer role to the setup guy, and then he had to go back to the closer role, got hurt, and back to the setup guy. Things are how you want it now. I don't trust Luke Weaver the same way I once did. Just last night, I'm like, maybe we've gone too far with all the Star Wars sounds and theatrics for Luke Weaver. I know it's kind of like now you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, but like do we need all? Do we need the Darth Vader? Do we need the whole bomb? Like, it's just a lot for a guy that I like his personality, but like it's not like he is completely nails and whatever. If you trade Devin Williams, like I said, first think about what you gave up. Caleb Durbin is helping the Milwaukee Brewers. Nestor Cortez, I believe, is on his way back. Like you gave up a pretty good amount to get Devin Williams. And you worked all season to get Devin Williams to be this version of himself. You want to trade him now, tomorrow? No, I need a little bit more of a return on that investment. And if I think I'm going anywhere this year, he's one of the best relievers, closers in the game over the years. MLB Network voted him as the best reliever in baseball going into this year. I would want him to be on that mound and getting those last 3 outs. I would tighten up the defense behind him, but I'm not trading Devin Williams because I still have plans of going to the postseason, and I still have plans of winning in the postseason. Whether it's a World Series or not, that's a lot to ask. But like, if it's a wild card round, you got to win those games. DSCS, you got to win those games. Somebody's got to get those outs, and he's been good. And you believed in him. I didn't believe in him. I thought it was too much. I thought the fans were eating him alive, booing him, chanting Luke Weaver. And then when you talk about O'Neal Cruz that was a rumor. O'Neal Cruz is not coming over here. Who would I want? I want Yohan Duran or David Bednar or Ryan Helsley, just somebody else that is a high leverage reliever that you can trust. You guys watch postseason baseball. There are so many times in postseason baseball, it's a tight, tense moment, and you need a guy that can go in and give up nada, give you 3 outs and like fire up the crowd. Sometimes the crowd gets louder just getting those 3 outs in the 7th, 8th, knowing like, hey, we're this much closer. You need another one of those guys. I've seen Luke Weaver get rocked too many times this year. Tim Hill is overused. I know Fernando Cruz is coming back. I don't know what Mark Leiter Jr. is going to be. I need another high leverage reliever. I need a left-handed reliever specifically. And yeah, they're not going to call up Spencer Jones, whatever, so be it. But then if you're not calling up Spencer Jones, then I don't think that you're going to be able to trade one of Jason Dominguez, who, like, not for nothing, now Jason Dominguez is playing every day. Hopefully his defense is there. Obviously, he had a couple hits tonight. Some good luck. Stole some bases, like put the speed on. Good. Trent Grisham has to play a plus center field, prioritizing defense. I don't think you are acquiring a Harrison Bader or any outfilders. I think that the Yankees need to add a starting pitcher, a left-handed reliever, and maybe another high-leverage reliever, and be done. But there's talk about maybe they don't believe in this team. They're not going to sell. I know there's a lot of talk. Hey, you could do soft buy and sell. Why? Judge is coming back. Why? The American League, and I've said it, it's not as weak as you guys like to proclaim it is. But come on, man. These are the New York Yankees. And I know. What does that mean, Keith? They're the New York Yankees. They got a ton of talent. They got a high payroll. They got a crazy fan base and a home field advantage. Get into the dance. As much as we hear it's a crapshoot, as much as we hear anything can happen, why can't this be the year? And there's two things, right, with Judge. What if this is the year that I've been saying all along? Okay, he failed at the highest level. He's a father now. This is the year that the World Series, like it isn't, the World Series, he failed in the World Series. There's no Galaxy Series. Maybe this is the year that Aaron Judge turns it on. What if he doesn't? I'd plan for that as well. Plan for Aaron Judge to not be himself in October. You've seen that more than not. So I'm not getting rid of any of these hitters either. I'm not. I need somebody to carry him. And I'm also not throwing Stanton in right field to risk him pulling a hamstring or having any type of issues. Then he goes on the IL. Then he's got to ramp back up. No, I'm not doing that. I forget what else Robbie threw out there. I'm not trading Devin Williams. You trade your prospects. I'm not trading Spencer Jones. I'm not trading George Lombard. But there are some other arms and some other high-level prospects that you can give up for relief pitching. Do that. I'm cool with Brian McMahon. He feels that position well. I know he's going to strike out, but he's also going to be clutch. He's also going to have some hits. Lower in that lineup. Ahmed Rosario, put him in right field. If Judge can't throw, and hopefully Judge does work back to being able to throw. You mentioned Jazz. That's something I wanted to speak on. Jazz is in a little bit of a bad one. Jazz is pissed off at the umpires. He's swinging at garbage, but he's also getting jobbed. And, not for nothing, though. Like, Jazz gives us moments where he's hitting for power, where he's hitting home runs. But, like, in his last 7 games, in his last 15 games, he's got 1 homer. In his last 7 games, he's got 1 homer. The average is low. And I remember the knock on Jazz was his plate discipline, or lack thereof, and, striking out. And you're going to get some of that too. He wasn't going to stay as hot as he was coming back from the IL the whole time. You hope that he can ramp back up, because with Judge down, you need his power. He's got 13 strikeouts in his last 7 games. So, yeah, he's in a little bit of a funk that he's got to break out of, because he is an everyday player. He is playing every day at second base. Let's continue the calls with Rich in South Orange. Hello, Rich.
Hey, Keith. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I'd like to make a point on Volpe, but as you guys do in your hosting, I'd like to just share with you a little bit about my day. I'm a little sick to my stomach today. My cousin's mentally retarded, and she buys me chicken wings, and she keeps putting Barry's hot sauce on it. I keep telling her not to do that because I get sick. But what are you going to do? She's mentally retarded, Maybe I'll have to get a...
I mean, the second time around, did you dump the first one? Thanks for the call, Rich. I don't know where, you want to share parts of your day. I'm hoping you're going to share some part of your day that, comes back to the conversation. I haven't shared any parts of my day yet. That seemed like, I don't know, you're taking us somewhere we didn't need to go, and we don't need to offend anybody, and that wasn't needed in this program.
No. And also, just for everybody out there, when we're sharing our parts of the day, it's usually to do with something to do with the show.
Yeah, it comes back around to something.
Randomly given this.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that was so whack. I'm sorry. I didn't. I'm like the second R drop. We had to get you up out of there. So yeah, no, we don't need that. We don't know you. It's one thing if Evan Roberts is telling me what's going on in his day. It's one thing if Boomer Esiason is sharing with us. We don't need that. Ay. Here's something from my day. Something I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. I had a nice vehicle dropped off at my house today. And shout out to my boy Matt, who does videography, photography, video editing. We basically drove this vehicle to Yankee Stadium today and shot a little commercial. So in the next few days, maybe week, you will see on my social media at Keith McPherson. If you already follow me on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, you will see a look at how I drive from Jersey to Yankee Stadium. As you guys all know, I go to the game and I watch the game and then I come here and I host the show. And now we've got that in like actual video form, almost like a little commercial. It's like an influencer marketing thing. It's going to be coming out soon. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be dope. So there's something for my day that, kind of makes sense here. You guys have heard about my car trouble and driving from the stadium. I had a flat tire, got here, got in an accident, trying to get here. Somebody hit my car, Right now, we're good. And I was paranoid, driving a brand new car. It smells like so brand new. Driving the brand new car to Yankee Stadium, parking it, getting out of there, and getting it here. You'll see it. I can't wait for you guys to see the video. And hopefully, I'm not even going to tell you the brand or make of car. You'll have to figure that out for yourself. You'll see it in a couple days. All right, we're about to see this break next. 888-808-1019. Still taking calls on the Yankees. When we come back, I'll mix in some Major League Baseball news, some trades, some different things that are percolating on the internet around the league and who's going to be traded. And yeah, the Mets got to rally back here, man. The Mets are they're actually down to their final strike. That's not going to happen. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Let's take this break. We'll be right back.
It's the Yankees and Rays playing ball in the Bronx. 7 o'clock tonight.
Giddy up, baby. Giddy up. It's a home run.
Driven by Jeep.
That was an extraordinary play.
Susan Waldman and Dave Sims call all the play-by-play on the Fan. 101.9 FM and always live on
San Diego. Bouton went back after the seventh inning, and he gave up 4 more. Elias Diaz, game-winning hit in the game last night, doubles into left, scoring Iglesias and Cronenworth to make it a 4-1 San Diego lead. And then Manny Machado would blow the doors off this game. That one, my friends, is not coming back. A 3-run bomb off Chris Davinsky, his 20th of the season. 7-1 San Diego, and that was the final tonight at Petco Park. So I'm looking at the scorecard from the last 3 games. Single 5 innings, Montas 4 to third, and then Manaea 5 innings tonight. Is that lack of length from the starting pitching trickling down to that Mets bullpen?
Yeah, it's definitely causing problems. Put a lot of pressure on the bullpen, especially those middle innings. And there's reasons for that for the starters. A couple of those guys you mentioned are injured, coming back off the injury. They have been on 13. Innings pitched by their starting rotation in the sport. Dodgers, with a host of injuries, they're the worst, but the Mets are second worst. And trying to go through the middle innings and navigate through that. That's what happened here tonight. They're forced to go with Budo for a second inning when he really shouldn't have been out there. I know they had Rayleigh up, but many decided to go with Budo in that situation, and it just imploded. And we've seen that overall. They've got, I think, the 4th worst ERA for the bullpen during that same stretch, because they're being stretched so thin, for the lack of length from the start.
Well, we saw Sean Manaea when he came off the mound after the 5th. The manager basically saying 1 more inning, and then we saw Mendes saying absolutely no way at 86 pitches.
No,
Oh boy. Keith McPherson on the fan in New York. Mets lose. Watching the post game, just muted it in here. And the Mets lose the series to the Padres, and they're talking about how the Mets are the 2nd worst team in the league as far as innings per start. They're averaging 4.64 innings per start. They're only second to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who we all know their starting rotation was decimated by injuries, and they've been patching that together for weeks and months. Trade deadline's coming. Are the Mets going to add a starter? I think they would be inclined to add another starter. There were some rumors about Sandy Alcantara, rumors around Luis Robert. We know they added Gregory Soto. Some rumors around Mark Vientos being potentially traded. When you look at this game tonight, it's just tough because the Mets are only able to score 1 run. And coming off of, yesterday when they had a 4-run lead and they battled back to tie the game, like that was a heartbreaking loss late. And this was just an ass whooping. This was just, by the time you get to the 7th inning, they blow the game open with a 5-run 7th. Nimmo 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Lindor 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Soto 0 for 2 leaves the game. Alonso 0 for 3. Just 0 for all through this game. 4 hits. But Mark Vientos had 2 of them. Swaggy V says, I'm not leaving. But he probably will be traded. Like, when you're looking at the combination of Mauricio and Beatty and Vientos, most people are talking about, hey, Vientos is not the best fielder. Vientos is a future DH. And the Mets' future DH is Juan Soto. Juan Soto is going to be a 10-year DH for the Mets. 888-808-1019. Met fans, how you feeling? The win streak ended at 7. And now back-to-back losses. The Mets try to avoid the sweep. Jose Iglesias, Candelita. Oh, my God. 2 hits tonight. Getting his revenge. Also had a walk. Manny Machado with that 3-run bomb. Jackson Merrill had another 2 hits, 2 ribbies. Yeah, the Padres fighting for their lives. The Padres handle business and do what they got to do. Let's take a look quickly here at the standings as I refresh these. I think the Phillies did win. I think I saw the Phillies won 6-3 over the White Sox, bouncing back after losing to them last night. So the Phillies are a half game back of the Mets. And your New York Yankees are 4 games back because Toronto has lost 4 in a row. And, there's still a game up in the wild card. Where are the Padres at in the wild card? Are they still holding? Yeah, they're holding that last spot in the wild card hunt. So we'll take a look at some more things, but I got a full rack of calls that I want to get to. I do want to get to some trade deadline rumors and some other things around the league. I think the big story around the league was the trade of Sir Anthony Dominguez, who was on the Orioles, and Toronto is playing the Orioles in Camden Yards, and this guy gets traded and has to walk past his teammates for the final time and, put on some Orioles or take off his Orioles stuff and put on Blue Jays stuff. It's a rough game. Yeah, he was traded between doubleheader games, walked over to their clubhouse, just switched, and they got it all ready for him. A Dominguez 48 jersey, a Blue Jays uniform, and yeah, just like that. Cold world, man. They're over there saying, hey, you got a guy. Blue Jays are like, hey, you got a guy that we want. He's right there. What do you want from him? Hey, you can have him. Also, the Blue Jays DFA'd Chad Green. So you can expect any minute now for Chad Green to be coming back to the Yankees, right? Brian Cashman somewhere like, easy money. Yeah, let's bring back Chad Green. That'll be just as good as getting a reliever at the deadline. What else? Luis Gil. Luis Gil should be joining the team again on Sunday in Miami. So help is on the way in that regard. And, Fernando Cruz as well. He's getting back on the mound Friday for his first bullpen session following his oblique strain. So we can hope to have him back in August. I think a lot of people were thinking September. I'll keep filling in the blanks here as we proceed, but let's hear from you at 888-808-1019. Bruce is in Flushing, back on the phone.
Left the game because of injury. Foul tip to his back leg.
Okay, yes, I left that part out. I think Marco might have said that on an update, but
Okay.
I need to add that as well. Thank you.
And to monitor what Mendy says in the post game. Yankee point. Number 1. Were you able to hear Boone's post game comments tonight?
I heard a little bit of them coming in, but not enough of them to recite. Maybe maybe Duke can cook them up. But you're talking about how he had. I know his tone was a little bit different with Volpe, but go on.
Well, his tone was different. Susan mentioned that in her post game comments. But when somebody brought up the fact that maybe you should give Volpe a blow, he didn't say no. He didn't say yes. He said, it's already after the game. I'm not going to talk about that. But he didn't say no. And he also said that this is a definite problem and we have to address it.
Yeah, he said we got to get over it. We got to get through it. He started off saying he's really good out there, but that's why I started my show saying, okay, enough already. Like I was at the game. I was sitting behind the dugout. I had a clear view of the kid, and it's like, you guys cannot keep parading around saying he's a lead and he's going to figure it out on. He shouldn't be tasked to just come through it on his own. It's the worst defensive slump of his young career, and he's in a bad one, and it's costing the starting pitchers. It's costing the team. If that game got away with from them at the end, he would have been sent. He would have been sent into another spiral of the homer wouldn't have mattered. The run that he drove in early wouldn't have mattered. It would have been all about the Yankees lose the first 2 games. Now they can't win the series. They can only potentially split the series, and it would all fall on Anthony Volpe. I feel like you can't just let this kid keep, sinking like this. They got to step in and do something. And I think there's only one thing to do: spell him.
Which I mentioned last night to you. Rosario, we mentioned last night.
Right. He exists on the team. You can't tell me that he can't play shortstop. We looked it up last night. He played for the Nationals this season at the position.
I thought today was a very important win because, frankly, after I got up to 3-0, I didn't think they were coming back. And with this lineup, no Judge. I
wasn't confident. Because, The vibes in there were off. And yeah, like I said, I tweeted out something as far as without Judge, a team that only scores homers.
No Stanton.
Stanton out of the lineup, Goldschmidt striking out, Jazz striking out. I'm like, I don't know how they overcome this. And also with Fried and his pitch count kind of up in the beginning and him giving up a home, I'm like, I didn't know what version we were going to get, but they banded together. I think that's why I said I gave Belly the big shot and Fried, because Belly, with one swing of the bat, gave us life, gave us a new game, and Max Fried locked in.
I love that curveball. I mean, I haven't seen a curveball like that.
He had it going. He had it. He's a master. You were watching a master at work throwing that curveball, and he was throwing it late, and his pitch count got up there. It's good to see him compete and be an ace like, you know, he is the ace of the team, be an ace like figure in a game that you needed to win.
I know you don't like return visits from ex-Yankees, but you got. I was watching the Met game before. Peralta was throwing 95 to 96, and they're looking to dump salary. Would you, if you can get Peralta back as a second lefty, would you want him?
Yeah.
If you can keep, and also Cortez is rumored to be traded because Milwaukee has got deep pitching staff. Would you take back Cortez if you can get him cheap?
Yeah, if the price is right. Both of those guys had some legendary moments. Wandy vision. Wandy did it when the pressure was there, and he didn't look like he was under any pressure. Guys that show you that type of mettle, that type of performance in the postseason in New York, like everybody can't do that. I would bring Wandy back as a left-handed. Yeah, if the price is right, and even Nestor too. I wouldn't be against them. I am against second tours, but I wouldn't be against Nestor coming here and eating some innings and giving us some quality starts, or giving us some starts. And then Wandy being that option out of the bullpen. He's done it before, and we need it. And I don't know what else is out there.
Isn't it nice when the ball goes to third base? You don't have to hold your breath anymore.
Right, that's what I said. Everybody wants to talk about the strikeouts. I'm watching Ryan McMahon play that position. That's easy for him. It
reminds me of Nettles a little bit. You're too young to remember Nettles. But whenever the ball went to Nettles, I was
just with Mr. Nettles. I hosted the Thurman Munson Gala, in September. I was physically with him, but yeah, I never watched him play. I've seen the highlights, and I know.
Once the ball got near third base near him, you had a...
And that's a great feeling, and we need more of that. Outs need to be outs. Thanks for the call, Bruce. 888-808-1009. Outs need to be outs. Simple as that. You're not going to win games giving extra opportunities. You're not going to win games letting runners advance, giving the game away. If they ground out, it's got to be an out. And so if Anthony Volpe is so in his head that the routine becomes difficult, and it's gotten to this point where we're going into August, how much more can you take? How much more are you expecting the fans to take? So I said, when the game started like that today, I said, have at it, folks. Have at it. I'm not going to tell you not to boo the kid. I'm not going to tell you, have at it. Can't happen. Unacceptable. And so everything has to be on the table. We'll queue up Aaron Boone's post-game comments talking about Anthony Volpe. There was definitely a little tone, because it's like, yo, enough already. Like, no one is bigger than the program. No one is bigger than the team. And he is hurting the team. Obviously, he helped the team offensively, but it's like, come on, man. This is Major League Baseball. This is the highest level of competition. If you can't make that play to end the game, and that extends the game and puts us in trouble when we need every game that we can get, like, something's got to be done. Eddie is in Brooklyn on the Fan next. What's up, Eddie?
What up, Keith? How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. Just talking through things. Obviously, the main thing to talk about is the Yankee shortstop and the yips, and then where we are with that. And I'm not putting it all on him anymore. I'm putting it on the organization.
Word, Keith. You can't be saying that word, bro.
What, the
it's
yips?
obvious that it might be. We can't be saying that word. Yeah,
it's on the post. They literally wrote "yip yip hooray" on the post.
Ever since the World Series, that fifth inning, bro. Ever since then, something's been wrong with him mentally. And
all
I
of
do
them.
want to say,
yeah,
it's not just him. I do want to say,
Jazz couldn't get the ball out of his glove 2 nights ago. Goldie's got to be better scooping the ball at first base. The one that we're not worried about is the guy that just got here over the weekend, Ryan McMahon.
Right. Goldie, bro. We got Goldie. And I made a post about this. It was kind of like clickbait, too, a little rage bait. But, like, I said, I don't blame Volpe. Goldie should have made that scoop. And if you look at the play, he double clutched. You know, he did everything wrong. Volpe did everything wrong. Double clutched, hesitated, couldn't reach him with the throw. But I swear to you, DJ LeMahieu, and I brought DJ up last time too, but Anthony Rizzo, anybody could have scooped that ball up. I don't understand why Goldie couldn't. I don't get it. Like, he's the guy that we got for his elite Gold Glove caliber defense. And I'm not seeing that in the past, 60 games.
Because Father Time is tapping that man on the shoulder. Even with his first 2 at-bats, the pop-up and the strikeout, I'm like, Goldie is looking like the season is getting long on him. Thanks for the call, Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Like, Goldie is getting to the point where, I don't know, man. I kind of got some flack for it last week when he had the 3 strikeouts against Toronto. Maybe I was just early, but I said it's worn off for me. Goldie has worn off for me. He's turning into the guy that we feared from last year. And people are like, oh, what, do you not watch the games? No, I watch every game. I go to as many games as I can. I watch all the games I have to. But I know he had some singles. I think I worded it wrong. And in my rant and my frustration with them losing to Toronto, I singled him out. But I don't think I was completely off on Paul Goldschmidt. He's got no pop. He came through tonight. And I'm literally in there tonight saying, hey, if he doesn't get a knock off this lefty here, then, like, what are we doing? Why is he batting third? Why is he playing over Stanton? Why, put Ben Rice there? And I know you can't. What a conundrum. You can't put Ben Rice at first base because of the mistakes he has made. But, like, Goldie is, like, I don't know. Can't call it, man. Goldie's got to be better. Defensively, they got to be better. And I don't feel for Aaron Boone, but, like, what is Aaron Boone supposed to say? Right? Because all of the time that he talks about the team and the work that they're putting in and we got to be better, we expect them to put in the work, like he says, and fix it, and then these things happen, and it was like, what happened? Is this a product of the work or the lack thereof? I don't know. So here's Aaron Boone talking about Anthony Volpe after the game, and it's just a little bit different tone when we're talking about Volpe's defensive struggles because they cost us in the beginning of the game, and they could have cost us at the end.
You guys came into the game 17th in the majors in stolen bases, and you stole 4 tonight. Is that a new tact, or is that something that they just gave you?
Yeah, we steal. Middle of the pack. I mean, it was there to be had tonight, and it played a big role for us. Wellesley, a double steal there by Volpe, Wells, obviously JD. So when the matchups present themselves and when they're there, we got to be in position to capitalize. And
my bad. I sent you the wrong one. There's 2. I'm like, this wasn't the right one. I'm like, this is not the one. But I have so many links and so many, resources here. Give me a second to go back to the Yes Network and send that to Zoo. That was about the stolen bases and them running. Zoo, check your email, and I got you with the correct soundbite, the correct link, so we can play what Aaron Boone had to say about Volpe's defensive struggles, not them, stealing bases today. Gary's in Middletown next on the Fan. Take it away, Gary.
Hey, Keith, another Ocean Townsend high school grad. I'm so happy for you and your family. You're killing on this job. I really love listening to you.
Thanks, man.
I want to talk
Appreciate
about
it.
Sure. You deserve it.
Go Big Red. Go Big Red.
Yes. Yeah, I never played football, but they had a heck of a team when you were there.
Yeah. Hopefully they can win another state championship. We're in a drought.
Yeah, but they don't have you, and they don't have the quarterback. I can't think of his name.
Kenny.
In the NFL.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Yeah, but Anthony Volpe, he was really hitting well last couple of weeks, so I'm real happy about that. He stole a base. He hit a homer, 454 or something. Got a base hit, got the steal, got the third run, the extra run. His hitting, obviously his fielding's a problem, but I think he can get back to it. I just don't know how to get back there. You got to play the other guy, the new guy, no doubt. The guy you said, the guy they just picked up. Why not? Play him in short sometimes, once a week, twice a week. But he can't give up on Volpe, I think. But my son wants to give up on him. He's done with Volpe, but I just don't see it. I
And
think
it
he'll
sucks. There's a lot of the fan base that's done with him, and I'm not. This is a resource. Having a Med Rosario on this roster, I think, can help. One, spell him. Two, why can't they put these two together to do some fielding drills? Maybe he takes a look at his mechanics. Maybe use him almost as a player coach. And then also everybody needs a break. I don't think it's gonna shake the kid's confidence. I don't think he's gonna take it as Med Rosario's taking my position and I failed. No, man, we are trying to help you. We see you're struggling, and we are not expecting you to just overcome it on your own. Gary, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Kenny Pickett was this close to winning a state championship for Ocean Township, too. I think he won the ACC with Pitt, and he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, but no Central Jersey Group 4 state championship. If you go to Ocean Township High School, that's still me. I'm still the last one. That's my claim to fame right there, baby. That's it. I peaked in life when we won the state championship at Rutgers. I did nothing great after. All right. Let's go to Aaron Boone now. I sent the correct link now to Zoo. This is Aaron Boone talking about Volpe's struggles. And if you watch and listen to the post game, it's got a little different. He's not coming out there saying it's just 3 or 4 plays now. He's not coming out there saying that Volpe's elite now. Listen for yourself if you didn't hear this earlier.
With Volpe, he had 2 big at-bats there on the offensive end, but obviously the errors. Do you think that's becoming a little bit mental?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get over it. We got to get through it. One thing for certain, he's really, really good out there, and he's clearly had some struggles and, a little indecisive with that last throw, and not that, it's a short hop there, but, we can't be indecisive there, and he'll get through it. But obviously there's been some tough moments here, and but for a very talented defender, he will get through it, and we got to get him there.
Yeah, that's good. You can kill it. Let's take another call, and then we got to go to the break. Timber Tony in Montreal back on the fan. I know he's listening.
I'm always listening, Keith. I love you, man. You're the best. And I love the way you support the Yanks, and you're not a guy that's going to be hammering a guy when he's down. Because, it's easy to lambaste anybody that's having a hard time, but the true critic that's out there is going to tell a guy, listen, you're failing, and this is what I think you should do, or this is what I still have faith in you. And you got to look at Boone and what he said tonight. But what I want to say, Keith, is that he's a little juggernaut. I'm sorry, Anthony Volpe hit a bomb tonight, and what I liked about him is that he stole that base at third, and he came home. And he's a hard-nosed player, and I just will never give up on him. And I think he has the Yankees actually tattooed over his heart. And, when they talked about him coming out of Jersey and he was a Yankee fan from a kid, you got to love that kid. And I don't care. A lot of people go, oh, trade him, this and that. You're full of nonsense, man. This kid, like you said, he'll hit 20 home runs this year, and he's going to be a guy. He's not going up there taking half swings. He's gonna hack that ball. And if you guys give him time and give him love and give him enough chicken parmesan and a little Alfredo, I think he's gonna be fine.
Thanks for the call, Tony. One of us. I refer to him as him on my Twitter, #H11M with the 11, kind of a play on him. And I know he's not him when people are like, I'm him. But he is him as far as the Yankee fan that grew up wanting to be the shortstop of the New York Yankees in this local area and actually did it. This too shall pass, but we have to help him. Odyssey's We Can Survive concert is back with performances by Ed Sheeran, Goo Goo Dolls, Alex Warren, and Shabuzi, all on one stage, one night only, at the Prudential Center, Friday, September 26th. Our Ticketmaster presale is live Thursday at 10 a.m. Use the pre-sale code WCS2025. See you at Odyssey's Weekend Survive, presented by Veg ER for Pets.
It's Boomer and Geo, mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
I played for 3 ownership groups. Leon Hess here.
Yo, I'm lacking on the live stream so bad. I had that big shot up for like, I don't know, an hour and a half. I have not interacted with the chat. What's good, y'all? What up, yo? Keith, what do you see the Yankees doing for the rest of the deadline? Pitching. We don't need any other position players. All pitching. Bellinger got the big shot, and so did Max Fried. I left that banner up for too long. Audio got to be switched. I don't even know. I don't know. I think I had the wrong microphone input. I'll be better. Let Let me get some more folks in here. Talking Mets and NFL next. I was laughing last night. Christian Wilkins stealing kisses in the locker room. Like we were just talking, like the caller just called and mentioned he went to my high school and the football team hasn't been good since I was there. We had a kid go to Penn State my year. We had a kid go to Stony Brook my year. I went to James Madison. Our running back went to Rowan. Like we had good players. And we had a good locker room and a small locker room. But when I went to college, man, there is a lot of interesting things that go on in college. I can't even really talk about it, but I could kind of visualize the Christian Wilkins character and the stuff that went on that rubbed somebody the wrong way.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti, and the sport is brought to you by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Bullpen issues once again. Manny Machado, a 3-run shot in the 7th, capped a 5-run inning. The Padres disposed of the Mets 7-1. Sean Manaea allowed a run over 5, but Jose Butto gave up 5. Chris Stefanski serving up the Machado home run. All eyes on Juan Soto, left with a foot contusion after he fouled the ball off his foot in the 4th.
That's good news there. So he's day to day. We'll see where we are for tomorrow. If he's going to be available for the lineup or a player during the game at some point.
Cody Bellinger, 3-run shot, erased an early 3-0 hole as the Yankees finished the race 7-5. Max Fried overcame a rocky start, 6 2/3 innings, a 4-run ball, 9 Ks, his 12th win.
I thought he got efficient enough, especially in the middle innings, to give us a chance to get really deep in this game. Obviously not having a few guys down there available. So just kind of a stud, grinded effort by him.
Anthony Volpe went deep, drove in 2, did commit 2 more errors, gives him a league-leading 15. Blue Jays lost both ends of a double dip. Bombers pulled it within 4 in the division. 85 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
New York sports is more than a game. It's a lifestyle. WFAN is the only place where Yankees, Mets, Giants, and Jets fans come together and sound off. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
All right, I got an hour left. Let's rock. I'll get right out of the way. Let's kick off this 1 o'clock hour talking about the Metropolitans. The Make It Happen Mets did not make it happen out in San Diego after a winning streak, coming out of Citi Field with all the vibes and then going to San Francisco and sweeping them and just feeling good about your young guys on top of your big money guys. Now, this is a little bit of a rut, but fret not. This too shall pass. You try to salvage the series by getting a win later today, and then you've got the trade deadline, and then you come back home and, Juan Soto, they asked Juan Soto his pain level. He says, I feel numb. I don't feel anything right now. I don't know if that means they shot him up with something or whatever to deal with it. But he says, I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to be good. We just got to get the swelling down after he, fouled a pitch off and had to leave the game. But I think as you are getting closer to this trade deadline, the urgency to add to this bullpen and really to add a starting pitcher. Luis Robert would be cool, I guess. But like I just reported, they're talking about how the Mets starters do not go deep into games. And if you remember last year, what damned the Mets in the postseason was starting pitching. And the bullpen can be revamped, and the bullpen probably will be repaired some. But you got to have pitchers that can get you to the 6th inning. The Mets don't even have pitchers that can get them to the 5th inning. They're averaging, it's less than 5 innings per game. And tonight, Sean Manaea goes out there. He throws 5, 3 hits, 1 run. He's fine. And then you look at Jose Butto, however you pronounce Jose Booty's name, and then Chris Stefanski. And yeah, that 5 runs, that 5 hits for Butto, I mean, he used to be a weapon, man. Maybe they turn him back into a starter? Nah. Maybe they just discard him because he hasn't been great. You got to tighten up the bullpen, but I really think they need to go get a starting pitcher if you're going to find any type of success going and navigating through this National League. You got to find the pitching, and obviously the hitting has to come through for the Padres. After Dylan Cease was on the mound last night, the Padres go out there and damn near throw a bullpen game. Their starter only goes 4 innings, and they're able to just go with 5 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys the rest of the way, getting an inning each and shutting down the Mets offense. Only 4 hits for the Mets offense and only 1 run, and that's not going to get it done. So, Zoo, I will tap you into the conversation as a Met fan on the fan. I'm not a Met fan, and I know these Met fans, they be tight, man. I put a video out earlier today. I said, I'm going to the game to root for the Yankees. If you want to heckle a team, go to Citi Field. All these Met fans are like, what you mean, buddy? We'll leave us out of it. I'm like, what I'm saying is, like, if you're a Yankee fan and you want to root against the team, go do that in Queens. Don't do that here. But, yeah, I think the Mets are still one of the better teams in baseball in the National League. And you have the trade deadline to kind of, plug some holes and right the ship and get this team ready. But, David Stern's got to feel that urgency, and maybe this is exactly what you needed going into the deadline.
Well, I think the fact that you're starting to see a lot more people speaking on the matter of they need a starting pitcher means that they're probably going out and they're looking at these starting pitchers. That's what that tells me. So my hope is that, because when you look at the market, it's not necessarily a great one, and I don't think that Alcantara this year is really the move. I more so look towards Seth Lugo in Kansas City as a potential rental. And I think that
reunion.
Reunion. Second tour. So he's out. So that's actually it's really difficult. This market is actually atrocious right now.
Dylan Cease?
I want nothing to do with Dylan Cease. Yeah. Overrated.
Yeah.
To say the absolute least. He is one of those guys that people hear his name, they never see him pitch. They don't know what he actually looks like. He is, overrated. Overrated. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I did see that, let's say 3 hours ago. Congratulations, Seth Lugo, on his 2-year extension with the Royals. Yeah, good for Seth Lugo. The Kansas City Royals are trying to compete, man. They're trying to stay in it. They're trying to get back. But, yeah, it was a couple days ago that it was announced that he was extended. I think I did have that in my notes a couple days ago. He's not going anywhere. 2-year extension with a vesting option for 2028. How old is Lugo at this point?
35.
Yeah, so he probably finishes career there. That's the thing too about this market. There is not that many starting pitchers. There are not that many. There's some top relievers, but everybody's going for them. Everybody needs, bullpen repair. Everybody needs these arms, and it's just going to go to the top bidder who's willing to give the most up. At least the Mets did some earlier today that I saw with Brazoban blowing it again. They optioned him. And I think that's a way to say, hey, we have a standard here. We're going to hold you accountable. You're not getting it done. Go back to the lab, work on some stuff, and we'll see you when we see you.
Well, that's the hope, right? Because, yeah, we can have that feeling. We can have that sort of, type of action. But at the same time, when you don't have the guys that can come up and fill the role properly, you're going to have him coming right back up. So any type of discipline you're trying to do with that's going to go right out the window.
Yeah, we'll see. The Mets
they got to make a trade.
The Mets are shopping Jeff McNeil. There are reports that they're shopping Jeff McNeil. We're hearing about Mark Vientos, Luis Angel Acuna. So if you're hearing all these names pop up of players that they're willing to part ways with, well, that means they're obviously looking for a return. They're trying to fix some things. So we'll see. On my screen right now, it says the Mets are outscored 14-7 in the 2 losses to San Diego. And there were 2 completely different losses. Obviously, the heartbreak, 2 nights ago. And then this one just got smacked. So
can I give you a name here?
Yeah. Somebody that you want, a target?
Yeah. So obviously you got Durant on Minnesota, and that would be a dream pickup. But I'm not really necessarily trying to give up as much as it's going to cost me.
I think the Red Sox think that they're either going to be a wild card team or whatever. Like, I don't know if they're giving up Durant.
No, Minnesota.
Oh, you're talking about Johan Durant. I'm thinking Jaron Durant. Go on.
No. Yeah. So I would love him, but I think that's going to cost a little bit too much there.
Mm-hmm.
Griffin Jacks is the guy I think might be a move.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading an article about Griffin Jacks on SNY a couple of days ago. He might be a good target for the Mets. Luis Robert.
Like a nice little 7th, 8th inning type of guy vibe. And if you do get somebody to get into that starting rotation by the time you get to the playoffs, think about Clay Holmes, Griffin Jacks, Edwin Diaz. It's a nice 3 in the back.
Yeah, Luis Robert is a luxury. There were reports about, the Mets being in on Ryan Helsley, the Yankees as well, and then also Mitch Keller. But I don't know, when they put that, it's Yankees and Mets for clicks. It's a New York market, high payroll. I think it's just obvious that you put those guys in. But let's see
how much money Mitch Keller is set to make.
No,
I think he's getting $20 million a year.
Yeah, I don't know if the Mets would be interested in that.
I'm not trying to pay Mitch Keller $20 million.
The Yankees can't do that either with what they just took on with Ryan McMahon. All right, anywho, let's get to these Mets calls. 888-808-1019. Mets fans call and weigh in. Do you feel some type of way losing the series to the Padres? Does it kill the vibes of the win streak? Are you now looking at some players that you want to sell off? Are you now zeroing in on some players that you want? Let's hear from Mike in Manhattan on the Fan. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Keith. I think they're going to go into that. I'm a longtime Mets fan. I think they're going into a soon, just because the game they lost yesterday is so reminiscent of the game they lost after Senga got injured, where they had a 5-1 lead and it all fell apart after that. And another thing, I don't want Alonso back next year. The guy I want, let me ask you, in a big situation, who do you want up at the plate? Kyle Schwarber or Alonso? I want Alonso off the team, use that money for Schwarber at the DH, and put Vientos at first base.
Thanks for the call, Mike. I don't know if they're going to go into a swoon. I do think it's interesting how they stacked this schedule, though, where you just went and swept the Giants, and now the Giants will come to Citi Field looking for revenge. As far as getting rid of Alonso's about to break this record. I know he's not really chasing it down on the road. I think I had said to my guy Dre, who's a Mets fan that listens to the Fan and tweets us all the time, I'm like, oh, Pete Alonso's going to hit 2-3 home runs out west, and then he's going to be set up to come home and do it during this next homestand. That hasn't happened. But Kyle Schwarber is balling. Kyle Schwarber is someone that I think will stay in Philly because they're aggressive and they spend money and they pay their players, and they'll probably extend him. What's his contract like? He's on a 4-year contract. Does it end after this year? Does he have an opt-out? Yeah, he's a free agent after this year. I think that he ends up back in Philly. They're hosting the All-Star game next year. This team just came to Yankee Stadium. He dominated there. But I like the thought, hey, if you want to move on from Alonso and go get Schwarber, but I doubt that's going to happen. I think that Alonso is going to break this record. I think that there's going to be a lot of fanfare. I think Alonso has shown you who he is in the postseason, and if he has another good postseason, it's going to be interesting. He's going to obviously opt out. And I think there's going to be a lot of people lined up for his services this year, but I think the Mets obviously have the richest owner in the sport, and if the fans are calling to bring him back, he'll probably be back. But what do we know? That's so far down the line. We got to get to the trade deadline. Let's talk trade deadline with some of these Yankee fans, some of your ideas. I think I mentioned Ryan Helsley. Mark Feinstein reported earlier today that Ryan Helsley is one of the most popular trade targets with no less than a half dozen teams interested. Among the suitors, Yankees and Mets were the first 2 teams that he listed. Let's go to Chris in Port Washington on the Fan next. What's up, Chris?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. All right. So you hear a lot for the Yankees, Bellinger and Devin Williams, these guys in the line. They're not going to trade Bellinger. They can't get rid of him, right? Devin Williams, pennies on the dollar. But if they fall out of it, right, what do you think about them moving Rodon, right? Did they eat a little bit of the contract? Maybe Detroit. They got a big prospect, the kid Clark. No, but listen.
I know, right? But hold on. If they fall out of it, the deadline is tomorrow. So
yes. Okay, so
how would they fall out of it and then move Rodon before the deadline?
I guess you're not gonna get him out of there for broke. But Rodon that's the guy they can dip. and they can get a legitimate prospect. The Cubs could be into it. The Tigers could be into it. Teams that are on the fringe that are going to try to make a run who need a pitcher. You know who else is a sneaky team? The Dodgers could be into it. They can get guys to stay in the roster. If they can stay relevant, like think about the Cubs, right? Talio's coming back, right? You get the starter, he comes back. Cole's happy, team is happy. At least he's serviceable there. They could get rid of him and make a lot of prospects, rebuild the farm system, keep the momentum going. At least they would stay into it, and nobody's going to be mad if he's not on the team.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Chris. It's not going to happen. They need Carlos Rodon. Who are your game 1, 2, and 3 starters for the New York Yankees in this postseason? If you trade Carlos Rodon, all right, give you a minute to think. Not even give you some seconds to think. You don't need a minute to think. It's Max Fried game 1. It's Rodon probably game 2. You guys are going to pitch Will Warren, Cam Schlittler, Marcus Stroman. Oh, you guys are about to pitch Marcus Stroman. Oh yeah, Luis Hill. Maybe Luis Hill got his feet wet in the postseason last year, but like the Yankees need to. Rodon was an all-star this year. Rodon had his best year as a Yankee. Rodon's allowed to have a beard. He's got his beard power back. They're not trading Rodon. They're hoping that Rodon learned from his start against Kansas City last year to, hey, control yourself, control your emotions, and that he can build off of that this year. The combination of him, Fried, Luis Hill, and then maybe they get another arm at the deadline, someone that they feel like they could throw, a Merrill Kelly, a Zach Gallen.
And also just
hopefully not an Andrew Heaney.
I mean, also just to poke holes in that theory, I mean, Rodon also has 3 more years left on his contract with over $80 million.
Yeah, it's not like he's cost effective. Like he's making a pretty penny. And that's not the type of guy that, like, I don't think too many teams are lining up to say, yeah, we'll give you the prospects to take on his contract. No, he's a Yankee. He's a Yankee, and we need him to be a Yankee, and we need him to pitch in the postseason. And what I always remember about Rodon is when he came here, he talked about, I'm not here to pitch in April. He's like, I'm here to pitch in October. Part of being a Yankee was wanting the ball in the postseason. Let's get there. Let's get these guys there. And let's get another arm. Ryan Yarbrough could come back. I guess I wouldn't throw him in the postseason, but Ryan Yarbrough did show us some stuff where maybe he could rejoin the rotation. Maybe there's a thought that you could put Cam Schlittler into the bullpen. Maybe you could look at a rotation of Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Luis Hill as like your best 3 guys. But yeah, I don't see any way that they trade. I don't see any way that they're even shopping Carlos Rodon. You haven't heard his name come up. They need him. He's an all-star. They need him to pitch in October. Dave is in Rockland County next on the Fan. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Keith. I heard this rumor about the Yankees trading for Harrison Bader. My question is, why do they need another outfielder, and who would they trade for him?
Yeah, I think that popped up with the thought that Aaron Judge is not going to be able to resume playing right field, not going to be able to throw. I think that also popped up with the thought that they may trade one of Jason Dominguez or Trent Grisham because Harrison Bader has been playing. He's obviously a center fielder, but he's played some left field for Minnesota. So if you've got one of those guys on the trading block and you do end up moving them for a starting pitcher or a reliever, then, bringing Harrison Bader back, who's postseason proven, who's done it here. Maybe if he's low cost because the Twins are selling and you could bring him back, but I don't think that's going to happen.
All right. Also, hot take. I don't want any of the Diamondbacks starting pitchers now.
Why is that?
I don't know. They're like getting older a little bit, not having good years.
Zach Gallen rental doesn't interest you? Zach Gallen is a guy that has been an all-star in Cy Young conversation. Zach Gallen came to Yankee Stadium earlier this year and struck out 12 in a game. Zach Gallen's a guy I'm like, hey, what do they want for Zach Gallen to put him in this rotation? He was also born in New Jersey. Hold on, let me take a look at this guy. I don't know. Zach Gallen interests me a little bit.
Guy. He's like low South Jersey.
Summerdale.
Right. He's like a 5.8 ERA his last 15 games.
Yeah, but he's gonna be a free agent, so he's gonna be motivated to pitch well in the postseason. Once he gets out of there and try and raise his stock.
I can hear that.
No, but I understand. I don't want Merrill Kelly. I think Merrill Kelly is mid as hell. I just think of giving up anything for Merrill Kelly, the type of stuff that he throws. I know he's a veteran. He could be serviceable, but go for Zach Gallen. He's got better stuff. And who knows, maybe Matt Blake's pitching lab can get him right. And like I said, if he's with the Yankees on the main stage, going into free agency, knowing, hey, this is just my last hurrah, I got to dominate, might get the best out of him.
Also, one last question. Why are the Yankees being talked about going for guys like Helsley and stuff like that? They have a closer. They should go for more mid-level relievers. No?
Mid-level relievers is probably what they're going to end up doing. But I think, again, it's Yankees for clicks. Ryan Helsley's a name that they say 12 teams are interested in. And, it doesn't hurt to have multiple guys that can close a game. It doesn't hurt to have multiple guys lined up. Maybe Luke Weaver becomes your 6th inning, 7th inning guy, and then you have Helsley and Devin Williams lined up.
Honestly, I love that. That's a great idea. I'm keen to that. Also, I don't know what that last guy was on. Why would you sell Rodon?
I don't know. This is trade simulator time. This is cook-up trade time. We are now in Wednesday. Getting down to the final hours, but there is no rumors of moving Carlos Rodon. He was an all-star as a Yankee this year. Yeah. He's had his best year as a Yankee this year. I was there and watched him dominate the Cubs this year. If he can do that, the Yankees need him. He's untouchable. They're not trading him.
Right.
And no one really wants him. Thanks for the call, Dave. I don't think anyone really wants him enough to take on that contract and give up something for him. I understood the thought. The caller was saying there's not enough starting pitchers out here. So if he's expendable to the Yankees, would someone be interested? I think he said the Cubs might be interested. The Dodgers might be interested. No, they're not. I don't think the Yankees are moving him. I don't think the Yankees. I think the Yankees need him. I don't think the Yankees are in any position to give up an all-star starting pitcher with what their starting rotation has turned into, losing Clark Schmidt, losing Garrett Cole to start the season, getting Luis Heel back and not knowing exactly what Luis Heel is going to be. Yeah, Johan Duran. The big name guys, they haven't moved yet, and they're not going to move probably until Thursday afternoon. The Johan Durans, even though we got the alert today, people thought, hey, he's out of here. The Eugenio Suarez is those guys that are the main guys that are hey, these guys are definitely getting traded. Emmanuel Clase is not getting traded anymore. Emmanuel Clase
for everybody that was looking.
Yeah, but that's what I said yesterday about Johan Duran. The price goes up for him and Griffin Jacks and Ryan Helsley because with Clase coming off the board, their stock rises. What other trades have we seen so far? Josh Naylor traded to the Mariners. The Mets got Gregory Soto. The Blue Jays got Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Grichuk went to the Royals.
Obviously, Ryan McMahon to the Yankees. Ahmed Rosario to the Yankees. Randall Grichuk. Oh, the Royals got another. They got the Royals got a arm from, or they got a player from the Pirates. And it was freshly out of the Adam Frazier. Other than that, the big name got Sandy Alcantara. We got to wait until deadline day. Mackenzie Gore, Joe Ryan, Mitch Keller. Those guys aren't going to move until hours before the deadline. And we got to keep our fingers crossed that the Mets or the Yankees are able to land. Oh, Danny Jansen. I was talking about how the Rays are in Yankee Stadium trading their catcher. He was in the lineup. We don't need him. We beat the Yankees without this guy, and they did. I said, yeah, we wait. For me, my wish list, you tell me your Mets wish list after this. My wish list for the Yankees, in this order: left-handed reliever, starter, another reliever for the bullpen. Left-handed reliever, I think, is most important, and then a starter after that. But I honestly think that with Yarbrough coming back, you don't need a starter that bad. With Heel coming back, you don't need a starter that Heel comes back. Who comes out of the Yankees rotation? Cam Schlittler? Do they move him to the bullpen? Wouldn't mind that, right? Could you imagine Cam Schlittler coming out of the bullpen in the 7th inning, throwing 100 miles an hour? It could happen. It's a possibility. I also think it's a possibility he could be traded. Your wish list for the Mets, if you have 1, 2, 3 in order, who they need to add, position player, pitcher, left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, starting pitcher, relief pitcher. What are your thoughts?
All right, so I'm going with starting pitcher number 1. That's without a doubt. They need to get it somebody that can go 6 innings plus and, dare I say, be borderline a solid number 2, I guess, because there really aren't any aces on the market, if we're being fair. Number 2, give me a reliever, because this team needs another back end of the bullpen reliever. Even if they shift Clay Holmes to the bullpen, they still need another guy. 3, give me a big bat. Doesn't have to be a center fielder. It could be a DH for all I care. They need another bat in this lineup, and it needs to be a left-handed one with power.
David Stearns, Brian Cashman, your move. 888-808-1019. I do want to get into some Jets-Giants talk. We'll break in the next couple minutes, and I'll kind of set the scene for that as I get out of the 1 o'clock hour, or I get out of the first half hour of the 1 o'clock hour, and just still, every show I try to end with some football. It's not the first thing. It's not something you open with. It's not something that you really take calls on yet. But like the Malik Neighbors thing today was a little bit of a scare. Malik Neighbors, with an actual quarterback like a Russell Wilson or even a Jameis Winston, becomes so important to the Giants offense and entire team. You saw what he did last year with Daniel Jones, with Drew Lock, with Tim Boyle, with Tommy Cutlets. Like, he's going to get out a ton of targets, and that you got to keep that guy safe. You got to keep that guy healthy. So, they said he appeared okay. And like, that's another thing too, with padded practice and stuff now. They're running plays full speed. If a guy does get banged up, there's just no reason on July 29th. I know it's the 30th now, but there's no reason to push it. You don't have anything to prove. You don't got to be tough, especially like a shoulder injury. This is a guy that just had a toe injury scared. They thought no, Malik Neighbors has to be, in his second year, available for the Giants offense, because I think you're going to really see this Giants offense turn into a legitimate offense. And I say that to say this, Evan Neal, we're going to play some audio from Evan Neal. Evan Neal moving inside. I think he's got a different level of confidence. I think he's going to be a better guard than assuming that he was just drafted to be a tackle. I think that helps your offense tremendously. And then also the highlights we're seeing from Cam Scatterbu, the one that I saw that I thought was ridiculously athletic. And I don't know if we didn't have enough of an angle in his practice. The ball gets tipped. He catches the ball falling out of bounds. He does the Tony toe tap. He's got his 2 toes like right on the line. I'm like, if that actually, like from whatever view stood, like that is incredible. And he is a little bowling ball. He is the type of guy that I think, like I said, with pads on, you can start to see what he's going to be. As soon as they drafted him, I said the Giants just drafted their next great running back. Then he took Ahmad Bradshaw's number. Then he starts doing a little interviews and whatnot. You're seeing his rapport with Jackson Dart, how they kind of mess around and they both enter the field together. I can already see it. I've been to MetLife so many times. The Giants need someone like Saquon Barkley used to do, like Odell Beckham Jr. used to do, that can get into the green grass, open field, and get that crowd to start to raise the volume in there. And Cam Scatterbu is a guy that gets lost in the line of scrimmage and then pops out, and then he's in the open field, and he can run a little bit. So I'm queuing up the Evan Neal audio. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the clips of Cam Scatterbu, and with the Giants, man, or with the Jets, man, opposite of the Giants. What I've been saying about the Giants is like now they have some characters. That's my word. But like what I mean is they just have some personalities. They have some players. They have some guys that you want to go see practice, that you want to see play. And I feel like they just over the years of this Shane and Dable transfer from Dave Gettleman and letting go of some of his guys and kind of bringing in their own, they haven't had as many of those dudes. With the Jets, The Jets, everything with the Jets is about culture. Everything about the Jets is about the shift in culture and shedding the Rob Saleh, all gas, no brakes, positive vibes only, all these like mantras, all of this like empty words, all of this stuff that like was really nonsense that obviously Rob Saleh, I think, brought in expecting to, motivate these guys. Like, are you a commander, competitor, contender? Like that stuff from Hard Knocks, all that was nonsense. Now you have actual coaches in the building. Now you have actual guys looking at the players and coaching them up. For example, what was said about Will McDonald. And we'll play some stuff when we come back. Odyssey's Weekend Survive concert is back with performances by Ed Sheeran, Goo Goo Dolls, Alex Warren, and Shabuzi. All on one stage, one night only at the Prudential Center, Friday, September 26th. Our Ticketmaster presale is live Thursday at 10 a.m. Use presale code WCS2025. See you at Odyssey's Weekend Survive, presented by Veg ER for Pets. Odyssey's Weekend Survive. Alex Warren. Shabuzi. Everybody at the party. All on one stage, one night only. September 26th at the Hello. Thank you all for coming out to this. Tickets on sale.
With Volpe, he had two big at bats there on the offensive end.
Oh, what the fuck? This shit not fucking working.
Sent you a couple more cuts. Evan Neal talking about, his version of himself, and then Aaron Glenn talking about Will McDonald and coaching him up. Yo, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm tired, man. Let me see this chat though. I have missed so much in the chat. Was it supposed to rain tomorrow for the Yankees? Let's see weather. This was for a second. I thought this was 20, 24 hours ago. I want to be sedated. Yeah, I usually got my hip hop beat pack. It is what it is, man. It's late, man. It don't matter. I play the stock stuff. It is what it is, yo. We're going to get into some football conversation here. Still taking calls on, the Yankees and, things from the game and Volpe and Max Fried and what the belly. Paul Goldschmidt, Embrace the Martian. Anybody else that we needed to speak on tonight? Jazz, I said, was struggling. No Stanton, but, the kid gloves with Stanton as he's getting ready to, catch fly ball. I don't really think they're playing him in right field. With the Mets, tough loss, but it is what it is. You ripped off 7 wins in a row, and now you run into the dads. And those San Diego daddies, man, they own the Mets at times, definitely out there. And, yeah, they opened up a can. They, back-to-back nights had 5-run innings. It's tough to overcome that. But I think this might be exactly what you need to put some pressure on your president of baseball operations to go make these moves. And the more you wait on moves, the less likely you are to land the player you want because other teams are, putting their chips in. They're raising the ante and they're saying, hey, we want this guy. So, trade deadline is tomorrow. Obviously, we'll go through this whole day today, and then we'll really get to it by the time I'm on Thursday. I think Thursday I got the 7-hour or the 7 p.m., the 5-hour KM to AM. So that'll be great because the trade deadline is at 6. We'll be done. We'll be able to react. And then we look forward to what happens the rest of the way with the Mets, with the Yankees. There is no getting off the roller coaster yet. There's no getting off the ride yet. In my live chat right now, they're talking about the weather. And I'm like, what's going on with the weather? So tomorrow, I guess, are we expecting some rain? Tomorrow it's been super hot. But yeah, there's going to be some rain Thursday. And that's the 4th game of the series. So they'll get this another hot, game coming up tonight. 95 degrees as the high, but then Thursday is supposed to be 75% chance of rain. So might have a little trouble there, but not really so worried about that. I don't know what y'all are talking about in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, though. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Rodney, Glenn. I know Hector was in here. I know Pam's always in here. Shout out to Joseph in here. I have cultivated a whole live chat of night crawlers. Rodney said they should be called the Chat Pack. I'm like, it could be the Chat Pack. He's like, all right, I forget what Rodney was saying about we should call us the Chat Pack. I'm like, I need a name for the live stream. I call them the Night Crawlers because it's always nighttime when we're going live in here. And I couldn't really think of anything clever with KM to AM, the KM to AMers, the AMers, Night Crawlers, Night Owls. How about that? The Night Owls. No, it's got to be something like, I feel like there's always these groups, these fan groups or whatever, there's a name for these armies, like the Beehive, Beyonce has the Beehive. What is Taylor Swift has the Swifties? I gotta think of some. It's in the
in the works. But anyway, also in the works was the football conversation. So what I wanted to do was cue up some audio, and then we can kind of, take some calls. And, people are starting to go to camp. Shout out to my doctor, Dr. Mo, who, went to Giants camp and sent me a picture of, his son out there. And I don't know if he said this off the record, but he said his son wanted to get a picture with Russell Wilson. He said Russell Wilson walked right past him. His son was so upset. I said, oh, it's hot out there. And Russ is a socialite, man. He's big time. Like, he ain't stopping for everybody's pick. And he said, yeah, my son was crying. It broke his heart. But he did get an autograph from some other players, and he did get an autograph from Brian Dable. And I'm trying to figure out who this guy in the picture with his son is. There's a bunch of players that are signing autographs that are like not as big and famous and rich as Russell Wilson. But I jokingly said to him, I said, Jackson Dart can't start soon enough. Now, Russell, now your son's rooting against Russ. He said, yeah, Russell Wilson is officially the most hated player in our household. So here's some audio from Evan Neal. Evan Neal is a guy who people labeled as a bust. If you remember Evan Neal talking about us New Yorkers, specifically you Giants fans, and talking about how you guys go home and flip burgers and serve hot dogs, and you don't know what it's like to play football. Remember that? He was tweaking before we play that, because I'm rooting for the guy. I remember him with those comments. He apologized, but, he basically called Giants sheep fans and fair weather bandwagoners because they were booing. I mean, at least Anthony Volpe hasn't done any of that to y'all. Anthony Volpe's not hitting the media talking about, like, yeah, these Yankee fans are fair weather, whatever. I'm going to go home and I'm still Anthony Volpe. You got to flip hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere. That's literally what Evan Neal said. Here's the quote. Why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of sheep? The person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere? I'm like, oh, no. First off, bro, in this area, do not attack people that prepare our food. You couldn't have went, though. You could have said, I don't know, you could have attacked the taxi drivers. You could have attacked the delivery guys, but don't attack, there's some good hot dogs in New York. There's some good hamburgers, and we rock with those people, bro. Do not attack.
When he said that, too, he thought he was spitting.
He thought he was spitting coming out of Alabama. This kid went to IMG Academy. Everything was handed to him, and he's a big fella himself. I'm like, why are you attacking the people that make the hot dogs, hamburgers, and other meals? Don't you like to eat?
He probably thought, he was like, oh, these New Yorkers are going to love this, actually.
Yeah, he thought it was being tough. He thought he was there.
They're going to love this. I'm going to show a little something here.
Nah, that made everybody like, yo, screw this guy. Get him up out of here. But, he's got a new attitude. He's not a tackle. I think he's going to figure out how to play on the interior of the offensive line and protect Russell Wilson and block for Cam Scatteraboo, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary still over there. Let's hear what Evan Neal had to say, because he's a top 10 pick? I know he was like 6 or 7. He was 7. He was 7 overall in 2022. Let's hear from Evan Neal now that he's been working on the inside, on the interior as a guard, and he's got some good videos and stuff coming out of camp. Here's what he had to say.
What about your skill set you think helps you? I think my skill set as an offensive lineman just helps me. I'm a big guy. I take up a lot of mass. I'm athletic. So when I get my hands on guys, a lot of time I can pretty much, shut the rep down. And in the run game, I'm explosive and I carry a lot of mass. So when I make contact at the point of attack, I get guys moving backwards.
Okay, when you get your hands on guys, chill. We coming off of the heels of Christian Wilkins. Like, we gotta watch our commentary. Christian Wilkins in the locker room getting his hands on guys, and they're reporting it to the higher ups. They told Pete Carroll, hey, he kissed me. He smooched me. He gave me a peck. I still think that Christian Wilkins stuff is hilarious. But I guess he's going through something because with the Raiders, Adam Butler, a defensive tackle who I'm sure was in meetings with him, he had a quote today where he was like, if you got something going on in life, talk to somebody. Don't make any hasty decisions. Get help. I'm like, what are we insinuating here, bro? And like, Buddy is zesty. He's got a zesty highlight reel online from him doing a split at the national championship to him being a reach around type guy, him doing the grab ass wiener grabber. I've been cracking up. They put out the Key and Peele skit from the baseball team where they playing grab ass in the locker room. Christian Wilkins is hilarious. They cut this man because he's kissing teammates. That's wild. I know I was in a couple locker rooms in college. James Madison University, different locker room than Monmouth University. One, because of just the build. I know James Madison University, I didn't shower in the locker room. After a couple things that I seen go on in that locker room, I'm like, I'm going back to the dorm to shower. I'm not messing with some of you characters. Some of the games you guys are playing, I don't play them games. I'm a quarterback. I'm not playing. I'm not getting in the shower with you big-ass D linemen, offensive linemen, especially the older guys. I was a freshman, sophomore. I transferred out of there after my sophomore season. Some of these guys don't have boundaries. They don't have lines. It is the spot where these guys come in the shower after practice, and some of these dudes take it way too far. Christian Wilkins probably took it to a point where, yeah, he made somebody uncomfortable. And it was probably somebody that he was, 50, 100 pounds heavier than. Yeah, what a character. They got to do a whole 30 for 30. We got to learn exactly what went down, what happened with that. He playfully attempted to kiss a teammate on the forehead. I don't know, like, were they clothed? The teammate felt offended by it. Like, yeah. Probably like, yo, you got too close, man. You got to have some boundaries, bro. Not playing those games. Some of these stories I can't even tell, bro. There was this kid on my team at JMU, this kid, Brandon. I can't tell this.
We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that.
I'm thinking back now. It's like, they will... Like I went to school back when you could haze people, when you could actually do some of these things. I gotta chill. We're like not hazing, not hazing to the point. I can't tell these stories on air, but I'm thinking back to some of the stuff that they would do to mess with you. There's nothing you could do about it, but we could tell coach. You can go tell coach. They would dare you to go tell coach. Or fight, you gotta give it. And that's like football players. We all used to scrap. You gotta fight, especially like in college, man. We used to be the first ones on campus. I know I used to hate that. The first day a girl moved in was like, you're around so much testosterone. You show up to camp like late August or late July, early August. And then, like, school doesn't start until late. It's like a month. It's like 3-4 weeks of just waking up, running, practicing, 2-a-day practice, shower, dining hall with just dudes and dudes. You're in the dorm. It's just all these same dudes. And some of these dudes, bro, they don't be playing fair. Different levels. If you can't fight, like, they're gonna try you, knowing like you're not tough, you can't fight. And they can get that off. They're going to take advantage of the ones that they can do certain things to. I think that's the Christian Wilkins story from my vantage point. Anyway, let's get back to the show. I literally have tears in my eyes thinking about this one story that I can't tell. And I don't know, man. Like when I got to Monmouth University, I showered in that shower, but it was a different type of structure. The shower was in the back. And like the showers weren't as close, and like we almost showered by like position groups. And the offense and defensive linemen, they're different type of dudes, man. They go first, man. Y'all go ahead. When I notice, I can look back and see the big fellas is out. Like, all right, yeah, skill positions going in there. Bob is out in Los Angeles on the fan. We should probably talk about the Yankees or the Mets or the Giants or the Jets.
Subject change from the shower. I want to talk about this infield, but one thing I was thinking about that you mentioned is the irony, the Aaron Boone irony that Tim Hill is now the most used and overused pitcher when it was just one time they really could have used him. So I wonder if it's just this PTSD of knowing it deep in his bones. Like, hey,
it is.
I'm not leaving Tim Hill in the holster again.
It's a mistake that will live with Aaron Boone, the Yankees franchise, every Yankee fan forever. Like, you got cute and went to Nestor Cortez when you should have just went to Tim Hill. Now they go to Tim Hill every time.
You know, I'm 50, so that's my sort of watching spectrum. I can't remember seeing a more pathetic Yankee infield in my watching life, man.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because, like, we watch Major League Baseball and teams commit errors. It's tough to field the ball. But it's like, damn, these guys have a whole blooper reel of this year from first base not being able to scoop the ball. Even when they had DJ, like, couldn't get to certain balls at second base. Jazz had one. He fielded the ball and just, like, couldn't get it out of his glove and tried to, like, push it with his glove. Volpe obviously leads the league in errors. At least now we got Ryan McMahon at third base. The ball gets hit there over him. He's got it.
This is a $300 million team. And we're saying things like, put the ball in play, catch the things I tell my nephews at T-ball. That's what we're saying to the Yankees.
It's frustrating and it's alarming, and like they got to do something about it. But I feel like that's what I'm saying. There's such a culture of like, it's not us, it's them. They're overreacting. Like that's the Yankees talking about. Like, if they were to listen to Keith McPherson's show and listen to the fans call, like, they're just overreacting. We're fine. We're good. And then it keeps happening. I'm in there tonight when that ball goes to Volpe and he goes to throw it to Jazz and throws Jazz off the bag and they don't get that out. Everybody's like, are you serious?
If the World Series Game 5, Inning 5, doesn't shake you to your core to tighten the screws and scare you straight, I don't know if anything's going to scare this team straight. Boone, Cashman, Volpe, whoever it is. If that doing you-know-what in the bed at the biggest moment and fundamentals and nothing changes, if anything, the screws are looser this year on the base paths in the field.
Yeah, because it is allowed. It is not treated like, it is not nipped in the bud. It is not treated with like harsh repercussions, accountability. It is allowed. I mean, and like, I don't support sending Anthony Volpe down. I support giving him a day off, but like, Volpe's the main culprit. He plays every day. He leads the league in errors, and they're like, this is fine. This is okay.
That's another Boone irony along with Hill. It's like the one guy on the team that needs the day off. Giancarlo, I want him in the lineup. Give him a day off. He gives everybody
they're pulling him off. He
except the one guy that needs it.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope they do not cool him off, like having him catch fly balls, threw him out of his routine the other day. He's got to continue to get at bats, especially with Judge out. He's supposed to be the one we lean on. I don't know, man. I don't know anything. I don't know. I watch all this stuff. I read all this stuff. I do these shows, and I keep coming back around to like, I don't know. Because they prove every time I think I know something, they do something else to say they know better than me, and they don't work, but they know better. So what do I know?
I mean, if that the only hitter on that lineup that really scares anybody other than Judge is the one guy that's fragile, and for them to risk that precious asset running him, I don't think they will, man. It's one of those things. It seems too stupid for them, but let's see.
Yeah, I heard the report over the weekend. And then 2 days ago, we saw him actually out there in right field. And I'm like, oh, they're dead ass serious about this. They're actually going to go back to, like, I thought we learned our lesson. I thought we like, Stanton is 35 years old. He's he doesn't even run on the base paths. He stops at first base to not leg out a potential double because he doesn't want the hammy. This guy got hurt last year going from second to home.
It's a twofer. It's both the injury and, again, a team that got embarrassed defensively. So even if he doesn't get hurt, you got a guy in left field who, let's be real, he looks like Cat out there jumping around, flailing, throwing the ball. Like, he's not a comfortable defensive player. Nice kid, good stroke. Let's see what happens.
It's still an adventure out there for Dominguez. It's still not natural for the guy. Thanks for the call, Bob. But that's the Yankee arrogance. You guys have heard me use that phrase. The Yankee arrogance is, oh, we can overcome this. We can do it. And then what happens? Ball will find you. And, I mean, Volpe's a shortstop. Ball's going to keep finding him. So give him a break. Let him Ed Rosario rock for a day. Once a week, every other week. It's not going to, make the kid go in the tank. All right, I'm out of here, man. I was going to play some Will McDonald, but you guys know, Aaron Glenn said it's coaching. It's coaching. He can do it. But Rob Saleh didn't coach him to do it. That's why you're seeing it, because we coached him. We watched the film. We saw his production, and we said, hey, this is what you need to add to your arsenal. So, yeah, we're going to get into plenty of football. Big Mac is coming up next, though. He'll talk Yankees, Mets, and maybe some football with you. I'll be back tomorrow. Good night.
Nah, y'all. There was this kid at JMU. He was a lineman, and they thought he was a little suspect. And the games that they would play in the locker room with Buddy, I would dip off. I'd be like, hey, I don't even want to be a witness to some of this stuff. I don't want to witness it with my own eyes. Two, if this crosses a line where we get investigated or something, I do not want to. Nope. I got nothing to say. Didn't see anything. Not me, coach. Coach, I don't even shower in here with them. That's what I'm like. Coach, when practice ends, I put on my clothes I came in with. I go back and shower in the dorm. I don't shower with them. Them boys crazy. Them boys on some other Not me. Not me. Straight up, my freshman year, I did not shower once. My sophomore year, I showered a couple times after the games because we would always have stuff to do, whatever. But yeah, I used to wait it out, bro. I used to wait it out because they were playing some games that you don't want to play, y'all. You don't want to play some games in there. That's what Christian Wilkins was doing for real. I'm like, me, nah. In college, I was like, I played quarterback. I was like 185, 190. Some of these dudes like 300 pounds. Nope. All right, I'm out, yo.